Welcome back to the watch list. This is now episode 12, and we've got an exciting episode on tap for today. I'm Jacob, joined alongside my co-hosts, Chase, Christian, Jordan, and Jagger. Got a really good episode today. As I mentioned, we're going to switch up the format a little bit. Jagger mentioned at the end of last week's episode that we're going to go to two movies now instead of three, and we don't have like a genre type theme this week. We're just doing the Dune franchise or the two Dune movies to start off. So that'll be our two big breakdowns and reviews later on in this episode. Before that, we're gonna have news, obviously, with Jagger as we always do. We'll talk a little bit of Sinners, a little bit of The Last of Us, that episode that just came out. And we have a couple games. I have a couple games for everyone on deck as well. So we'll have some good discussions today, but we'll start off going around and check in to see how everyone's been doing for the last week. I know Jordan's had a pretty eventful day, so I'll start with him.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I just got back an hour ago, or no, I literally got back 20 minutes ago. I had a little small procedure. It was I never know how to pronounce it. An endoscopy, I think is it.
Sure, works.
Um, so I woke up from anesthesia about an hour ago, but I feel okay, so we're recording. If I make some word mishaps, you know why. Um, but I watched a lot this week actually, and I'm excited to talk about a lot of them. I watched a lot of bangers this week. Obviously, Dune 1, Dune 2, no discussion needed. Incredible. We'll get into that though. We also saw Sinners. I think I liked it. I think I have the highest rating on Letterboxd. I really, really enjoyed it. I had it at a 4, and then I moved it to a 4.5 because I was thinking about it all night after I watched it. I watched Nora finally. That was pretty good. And then last night I watched Arrival for the first time, and wow, wow, wow,
Oh,
is that a
I
movie?
didn't even see that.
That's a 5 star.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. I can't believe I've never seen that movie. Um, and you know it's good when me and Katie are both watching it. The entire movie, phone was down. She wasn't looking at anything. She was locked into the screen. And the movie ends, and she's like, "Oh my God, that was incredible." That's how you know it was that good. Um, but that's really it for me this week. I got a busy week coming up, but they told me not to work for the rest of the day, so get a little Monday afternoon recording. The doctor, I mean, told me not to work. Like they wouldn't let me. They said not to do anything for 12 hours. So I feel okay, but yeah, went
Yeah.
good.
Are you sure?
Dedication,
Are you sure
dedication
you
to the
don't want
grind,
to work?
dedication to the pod.
Yeah.
Sorry, what are you saying, Christian?
Obviously.
I said, Jordan, are you sure you just don't want to just go work? Like, doesn't that hype you up? Just get right back into it.
You know what? I was working this morning. I was getting a lot done. I don't mind working. That's the thing. And I
Yeah.
think I could work right now, and I do have a lot of work to do. So I would like it if I could, so I don't have to work till like 8 p.m. tomorrow. But you know what? Sometimes you just got to do what the doc says.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, did you have any idea what was coming in Arrival? Like everyone here's seen it,
Oh
right?
my God,
I don't
no.
know. Okay. Oh, Christian, you haven't seen
Dude,
it?
No, I've seen it. Of course I have.
Okay, okay.
so
I was
I'm watching it. And so we watched it in two halves because we both fell asleep. And the first half, like obviously like it opens up with her, which I am thinking are flashbacks of like her daughter, and then the movie progresses, and I'm like, it like clicked. I was like, holy shit, those aren't flashbacks. That's the future.
Mhm.
I mean,
Yeah.
one of the most unique movies I've ever seen.
Yeah. Figured you'd like that after Close Encounters, after how much you liked that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Jordan, if you remember, that's the parallel I was going back to with like the communication aspect with the aliens.
yeah,
It's kind of
yeah,
like similarity that I saw with it.
that makes sense now. I mean, just incredible. And we were up like halfway through there. I think the first night we were watching it, we got up to the part where they like take off their suits for the first time in there. And I'm like, holy shit, okay, this is getting good. No idea what was coming in the next hour or
Yeah.
45 minute, whatever it was. And it was just blew me away. I
Yeah.
mean,
Great movie.
I was smiling at the TV like the last 20 minutes the whole time.
Yeah, it's a great movie. I could probably use a rewatch myself. But we'll go to Christian now. Christian, how you been doing? What have you been watching?
Good. Only other movie that I got to this past week was a movie called Husbands. John Cassavetes movie. Really interesting. It's a movie that shows like really true raw emotion of a group of guys that loses one of their best friends, and they kind of just go on this like drunken journey to cope with those feelings. And it's really funny, the first half, I will say, but the second half for me dragged on a little bit. I know Schnur's on your watch list, so I love to hear what you think about that when you watch it. But that's really the only other movie that I watched. Had a nice Easter Sunday, and we're here. And also Knicks are up 1-0, and we're repping Knicks gear today. So yeah,
Absolutely.
and another one tonight, of
Did you guys see
Did
that Derek
you
White masterclass last night?
course.
did you watch Husbands like with Cole? Because I know Cole was like a big fan of that, right?
No, no, I didn't. I watched it in my bed alone.
Fair enough.
Um, but one thing, maybe I'll save it for the discussion, but I asked Cole, so you haven't seen Husbands, but when you think of a movie like Dune and a movie like Husbands, and you're thinking about the director, you think that Denis is a much more skillful director considering what he was able to like give the audience, like the scale of the movie. And then I was like, well, how are you comparing these two directors? And he's like, dude, you have no idea what goes into a movie like Husbands and how much more impressive it is for John Cassavetes to make that. And I'm like, that's to me like crazy, but he knows more than me. So
Yeah.
I thought
Super
that,
different.
yeah,
Cassavetes wasn't like he didn't really care about like the visuals necessarily or like it was more just like exploring like real human behavior and like just kind of letting the actors carry. And it's just a very different kind of movie.
yeah,
But
for sure.
yeah, they're fantastic. I loved his other two of his other three that I've seen, like them all. But yeah, Woman Under the Influence, obviously what you've seen as well.
Yep,
And Opening Night you should watch is
yep.
really, really good. All right, Chase, I'll go to you next.
What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Haven't watched anything else outside of Dune, aside from obviously Sinners and some more Marvel that I got through. Me and Ava have hit a bit of a stalemate just because we haven't had the time to watch some Marvel, so we're about three-quarters way through Guardians 2 at the moment. Um, Guardians 1 definitely still great. Love to see that. It was my first time watching Guardians 1 since the first time I saw it. And we all know how much we all love Guardians and how great Guardians 3 is. So it was interesting to go back to 1 after just watching, what was it, last summer? Guardians 3?
A couple
Um,
summers ago, 2 summers, I think.
2 summers ago?
How was it?
2023, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah. So that was really fun. Also noticed a lot with Rocket. Like Rocket makes a lot of parallels to like his past in Guardians 1. And then obviously you get that in Guardians 3, which I wouldn't have remembered until obviously rewatching it just now. But a lot of good TV this week. And everybody knows I'm a big Lego guy. So here's the downside of my week. Got my long-awaited Lego C3PO in the mail, and the box was just totally slashed. It looked like somebody took a knife and cut through it. So I was asking you guys if you think I should send it back or not. I actually sent it back today. So the new one's coming tomorrow in the mail. So I'll update you guys next week.
Were there anything wrong with the pieces?
I didn't open the box. No, I just because I like to keep the boxes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I didn't even bother opening it. I've just figured I'll get a new one.
Good for you. I think that's a good choice.
Thank you. Appreciate
Agreed.
that.
All right, Jagger, how you doing?
I'm doing good. My birthday was on Friday. Fun day.
Happy birthday.
Uh, Felt it the next day. I watched a lot of basketball, NBA playoffs this past week, and played a lot of MLB The Show. Just normal stuff. We got through 2 episodes of Last of Us, and last night's was a master class. Me and Jordan barely know what's coming. We didn't play the game like you guys, so it's I feel like our viewing experiences are just so different. Especially I knew it was gonna happen last night, but like watching it is just like so different for me, and I have no idea what's gonna happen from here on out. So I'm excited for that. Finally got to Reservoir Dogs. The only Tarantino missing is Death Proof, I'm pretty sure. So that's like some I gave Reservoir Dogs a 4. It was good. Tim Roth was good. Me and Schnur talked about it for a little. And then I finished Black Mirror. That's basically all I watched
Oh,
this week besides our movies.
I gotta finish Black Mirror. I'm like locked out of my Netflix right now, so I can't get in and watch it for whatever reason. But you liked it, right? You thought the ending was good at the last couple
Yeah,
episodes?
I really didn't think there was one bad episode. People are trashing some of the things. Plaything is, I was like, I really like that. Schner hated it, and means like seems like most of the general public hated that one, but I really had a good time with it.
Yeah.
People also trashing that Last of Us episode last night.
Gonna
I mean,
happen.
yeah, it's gonna happen, like Schnur
Yeah.
said.
People trashed the game when it came out too for like what happened. We'll keep spoilers for later, but
Yeah, and I will say, I think Schnur and Chase probably feel the same way, but watching your guys' reactions to the show as we already know what's gonna happen is adds to our experience, so it's so great like hearing your guys' reactions. Like we already know what's gonna happen and you guys are reacting off of it and we're like, "Oh my God, how are you gonna react?" It's awesome.
Well, I love that Jagger's got like a totally clean slate now because he
Now I'm
knew
good.
he knew the one piece of information. So now I'm excited to see how he's gonna go forward.
Yeah, I
yeah.
had
Now we
no
go.
idea. I was jaw dropped to the floor.
I, dude, I was midway through the episode last night. I'm like my heart was like sunk the whole time. And Sophia stops me and she goes, "Can you do this ranking real quick on TikTok for me?"
Oh my God.
I'm like, okay. So I had to pause the episode and rank stuff on TikTok and then get back to it. It was
Throw her
terrible.
phone through the window.
It was terrible.
I just posted my review on TikTok of The Last of Us. So if you're watching, you should go check it out to hear a little more in depth from my point of view. So
Yeah. Great episode. We will get to that as I mentioned. We'll talk about Sinners, which I also watched. Um, Overall week was pretty boring for me. Just had an orientation for my internship starting up in a couple weeks.
Let's go.
That went well. Movies, watched Mission Impossible 2 and 3. I'm continuing my Mission Impossible watch for the first time. I've never seen all of them. The only one I ever saw was 5, so going through the franchise right now. Definitely liked 3 a lot more than 2. I know Jagger's not the biggest 3 guy either. We talked about this a little bit. I thought 3 is super fun. Mission Impossible 2 pretty much sucks though. Um, First Reformed I watched, which I didn't plan on watching, just randomly saw it on Prime and like I've been hearing about it for a while, so I just kind of had to throw it on, I felt like, and it really blew me away. I think it definitely deserves multiple watches. I'm gonna end up watching it again at some point, I'm sure. It was really, really interesting. Kind of had a similar effect on me as like After Sun had with you guys, where like you're watching it and you're kind of like trying to piece together what's happening with these characters, like what the message is, and then at the end it kind of all like hits you and you really understand it. Kind of a slow burn, but really, really good. And then I watched another like new movie was Beau Travail I watched last night, which is like a French war film, which was really great as well. Like some of the most beautiful images I've seen in any movie, like let alone just war movies. It was shot really beautifully. So that was really about it. If you guys don't have anything else, I think we'll go to Jagger once again and go through some of the news that we've had this past week.
yeah, I'm
All right.
good.
Not a very eventful week, but first thing I got is Godzilla Minus One sequels coming out by the same director. I don't know. I know Chase said he hasn't seen it. Schnur's seen it. I don't know if either of you guys have.
I
Christian.
I
fucking love
say,
it.
yeah,
I'm a huge Godzilla minus one guy or whatever it's called. I fucking love it.
it is incredible. It's my top 100 all time. Like it is so awesome. It's my favorite like Godzilla like look he's ever had.
Oh
So,
yeah. And go look up the budget if you compare it to like any other blockbuster. The budget is so small in comparison and it looks so great.
mhm.
A sick
So
movie.
excited for that. We got a new 28 Years Later trilogy or trailer, which I think I'm the only one who's seen that. 28 days and 28 weeks. Um, I'm super excited. It looks fucking horrifying. I can't wait for that. You guys have to get on your 28 days and weeks later
Yeah.
grind to watch those two.
Would I like it,
We get
Jagger?
horror. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is,
Your
is
boy
28 weeks?
Oppenheimer's in it. 28 weeks isn't as good.
Okay. So I've
I
seen
think I have
28 days,
28
but
weeks. Sorry, I think I have 28 weeks at like three, and then a 28 days at a 4.5.
okay. I've seen 28 days like a while ago, and I haven't seen 28 weeks. So I just haven't heard great things, I guess, but
Do I have to watch them in a
I'll
row?
check it out.
Yeah, I mean, what
Might
do you
as
mean in a
well.
row? Like back to back, or like
Well, I mean,
you
like
want
you
to
have one at
watch?
a 3, you have one at 4.5. Like, is it a direct sequel?
Yes. So there's a thing confusing. I think this might be like a different like stuff that happens in 28 years later. It didn't happen in 28 weeks and days and stuff. They start retconning things, but I would definitely watch both of them. They're not terribly long movies. Just give them a chance.
All right.
And then we talked about this last. Chase, would you like to enlighten us on your experience last night with the scariest man of all
Oh,
time?
dude. I'll keep the story short and simple. Last night I'm dropping my girlfriend Ava off at her house, and I'm leaving her house, and I see this person with a hoodie run across from the left side of the street to the right side of the street, like diagonally, like across my car. And I was like, kind of like, okay, like that's weird. And then I let them like run a little further down the block, and then I just start driving so I could leave. And then as I'm passing them, they start like sprinting like out of control, and their arms were like in the air like this, like straight vertically in the air, stationary while running, and they were laughing, like laughing their ass off. Mind you, it was like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. We just finished The Last of Us 2, so I don't think that helped the experience either. Um, and yeah, it was pretty horrifying. It was pretty horrifying.
So this comes into play because Weapons comes out as like a new trailer, teaser trailer released today, actually. Same director as Barbarian, and they released surveillance footage. That's it. No sound, nothing, just surveillance footage of kids sprinting in like lawns and driveways at 2:17 in the morning with like their arms wide out. And they're running like sub 440s. Like they're hauling ass. It is just horrifying. I can't wait for that.
I can't wait for Chase to be in the next trailer.
Bro, imagine imagine you just see my car. I was driving too, and I'm looking out the window like I was staring, like I wanted to get a good look at the person, but I couldn't. It was too dark out, but it was freaky.
The more I
Terrible.
think about it, the more I think about that movie, the more excited I'm getting too. Because I like
Mhm.
Barbarian too. I know you did also, Jagger. And it's one like Barbarian especially is one of those where it's like you go in thinking like maybe you'll have an idea of where this could go, and then it just is like not at all the movie that they're marketing,
Yeah,
kinda.
flips it on the head.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then yeah, like Weapons seems like that kind of like there's like a mystery element. It's like kind of scary. It's like what is going on here? And yeah, I think that looks cool.
I mean, has anything been released about this movie besides those clips?
They just released something today with some narration over like a 40-second teaser trailer, which is the kids running, but that's basically it.
So we have
There's
no
nothing, no
idea
plot
what the
points,
movie is
nothing.
about.
Kids
Interesting.
disappeared at I'm pretty sure it's a whole class of kids disappeared at 2:17 in the morning, and they just walked out, left their house, and just started running.
Sure.
Dude.
So
Are you a big horror genre guy? I feel like you've been
absolutely,
dying to get one of those segments on here, and we haven't gotten it. But
I love horror so much. Like when we, who was I know Schnur was there whenever we saw it in theaters. Whenever we were like
Oh, I was there.
I was only there
15,
for
14.
it too. Were you talking about it too or
Oh.
the first one?
I think sure you were definitely there for it, right? And then
Yeah.
I think a couple of us saw it. Jordy could have been there. We saw it too.
Yeah.
It too.
You guys, because I'm not a big horror guy, and what we were probably like, what, freshmen in high school or something,
We
like
were- I think it
14,
was 20
15?
I think it was 2017.
Okay,
when
so
it came out.
sophomores maybe in high school, and you guys were like, "Come on, just come, just come," and I was fucking like shitting myself. I was like, before the movie started, and then I watched it, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is fun."
I love horror movies. The only movie I like actually genuinely get scared of is Paranormal Activity. That thing scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
Um,
nah.
moving on, moving on to something lighter. It was Star Wars Celebration. So we got Star Wars Starfighter, set 5 years after a sequel trilogy. Ryan Gosling's in it. Sounds cool until you get Sean Levy, whatever it is. Who cares at this point? And we're gonna get that May 2027. Do we even need to talk about this?
What
Oh,
else
shit,
is
Mikey
Sean?
Madison. Mikey Madison
Like,
passed on it.
yeah,
Yeah.
thankfully.
What
Jesse
else has
Plemons
Sean
is
been a
like
part of?
could possibly play the villain. Just insane.
Yeah.
Sean has done Free Guy. What was the
Oh,
he did some- oh,
dude.
he did Night at the
The museum.
Dude, Night at the
Museum.
Museum. This is an elite
Yeah.
lineup. Jordan.
No,
Jordan's
look
real,
past that.
Jordan's Real Steel.
My real steal. It's a great movie.
It's not great.
I'm seeing it looks like he has some involvement in Stranger Things. Am I excited? Cheaper by the dozen? Are you kidding?
So he puts out bangers,
Oh my
is
God,
what
he
I
puts
mean.
out bangers.
Okay, you guys could be excited about
As a
it.
Star Wars fan, I'm concerned.
I mean, yeah. They're also coming out with, I saw they were coming out with a new Star Wars video game, which did not look good, in my opinion.
That I saw
Did
didn't
you
look
see the
good.
smile fade on Christian's face?
Yeah.
Did anybody
Yeah, I
just see
saw that.
that?
I was watching him the whole time. Did you see that, Christian?
Oh yeah, I know all about it.
I did see one that doesn't look good, but I don't know if you guys will remember this. I think Christian might. There was a game trailer that released a few years ago for a game called Star Wars Eclipse,
Oh yeah.
and it was like this insane trailer, and the game just like never dropped, and we haven't heard anything about it since. But today they actually tweeted that like see you there when the
Yeah.
next Star Wars celebration was announced. So the game is actually like coming and probably gonna get made in the next few years.
All right.
The
That's
next Star
exciting.
Wars celebration is April 1st through 4th, 2027, if I can remember correct. So
Long ways away.
you'll get it.
Jeez.
And then another thing with Star Wars, we got Maul Shadow Lord. Was this an animated TV
yeah.
series, or is
That
this
I'm excited about.
Animated.
I think it's animated.
Yeah.
Maul has dominated Star Wars animated TV series. It is
Yeah.
about time he got one of his own.
Unlimited ore from him.
Yeah, so I think it takes place like
Since
right after the Clone Wars, so
Kenobi.
there's like a 15-year gap where they can tell about what goes on with him rising up in like the crime ranks and probably like
Crimson Dawn.
Dawn.
Yeah.
And he's got a Padawan. It should be. I think her name is Darth Talon, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know.
Is it
Could be wrong.
Osha?
So I saw the picture of her,
Osha.
Darth Osha.
Darth. Vader.
but I think Talon's someone else.
Yeah, I could be
I
wrong.
don't know.
I could be wrong, but she's a
Osha.
big character in Star Wars lore. I don't really know about her, but people who said that they saw the trailer said the animation is even a step above anything we saw in season 7 of Clone Wars, so that could be exciting.
Special.
Cool.
Cool.
Can I just say also with I don't know if it's just Disney or Star Wars or like it's Marvel, like whatever. Like these names for these projects are so bad and boring, I think. Like they're so
Starfighter.
like Star Wars Starfighter. Like what? Like what is
That's
it?
pretty
Maul
bad.
Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. It's
Maul.
like 3 names. Star Wars Maul Shadow Lord. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like get something creative. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Star Wars Starfighter sounds like a like in The Boys, how they have those movies. Like that's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Like one of those like spoof movies.
Yeah. The Mandalorian and Grogu. Like,
Uh,
okay.
Yeah.
That's as bad as it gets. That's as basic as it gets.
They just
By the way,
name the characters.
I don't know if you guys saw the leaked trailer, but I was very disappointed. I don't know if you guys were,
I
didn't
did not
see
see
it.
the leaked.
but
I
it
didn't see
just seems like just a side quest. It just seems like a big Mando episode, just a side quest, and that kind of gets me upset.
It's kind of
Yeah.
what I figured it would be. But it's like it's a way for them just to sell tickets and sell more advertising and all this stuff. So gonna do it.
Scumbags.
All right.
All right, finally, the Academy is requiring all members to watch all nominated movies in order for their vote to count.
Thank God.
So that wasn't a thing?
No one was watching Dune 2. Like people actually like were like sitting there and not watching Dune 2.
Wait. Okay, so I'm new to the whole Academy thing. You're telling me that the people voting do not watch all of the movies?
Not all of them though. So now they're requiring it for order for your vote to count. You have to watch all the movies. People are actually not
What
watching
the
it and putting it and
fuck?
ranking it last.
Chase, Christian, did you know this?
Yeah,
I remember briefly, I think it was Jagger was telling me that there was nobody watching Dune 2, and that's why they're not going to take it seriously. I think this was it the same thing with Challengers or no? I might be thinking of a different movie.
I have no
Could
idea.
be,
Challenge
'cause
wasn't
I got
nominated, so
screwed.
I don't know.
Well, whatever it was, whatever the movie was, I remember like learning about this very recently, Jordan. Like very same boat as you. Like
This
I was
is
shocked.
insane. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Is that it, Jagger? You're all
That's
good?
all I got.
Might as well have
All
me
right.
vote up there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Just insane.
The Academy
they're doing
Award
that.
goes to
That is
Jowdy.
crazy.
I'm sorry, Moonlight won.
do we
No,
think
you
that-
guys actually want to come up here.
Do we think that changing like that policy can help like a sci-fi movie or a genre
Absolutely.
movie? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's possible, yeah.
Well, this piece of news is a little older, but I'm very excited about the Academy, like and including stunts
Yeah.
as a new category. That's really exciting.
That's
I
cool.
mean,
You
yeah.
Like, can
better
Tom
watch
Cruise
Mission
can
Impossible.
Tom
He's
Cruise
gonna
get nominated?
clean up.
I
Yes,
mean, let's
dude.
give him the
He is
first
going to
one.
clean up
There's
those.
Like,
Clean sweep for him.
imagine being like a world class stuntman, and then like the year the Academy includes you, like Tom Cruise has a huge movie coming out, and like you like a huge actor is gonna win your award.
I'd be pissed.
I
Have
would
you
be
guys
pissed too.
seen any of the stuff that like he's done so
Oh yeah.
far for this movie?
Oh yeah.
I
No.
just saw the plane things.
Plane, yeah.
Not this one, but I've seen like the past
Oh
ones.
my God, he's been like, he's almost died a couple times filming these
I
movies. I
believe
think he
it.
almost died this time.
Is the award, would the award go to like him for doing the stunts, or would it be like the stunt crew of the movie?
I
I
don't know.
think it would be the whole stunt crew of the movie
He'd probably
Okay.
just go out there and
there was
smile.
talks about it with Fall Guy, and I think it would be Fall Guy movie like they won like all together. I don't think just Tom Cruise versus five other stuntmen.
Well, yeah. So
For-
that's what I was saying, because that's what we were saying. Like, imagine like you're a stunt guy wanting to win an award, and then Tom Cruise is there, just steals it. Like, I'd hope that they're giving it to the crews as a whole, including him.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. After with that, we'll turn it over to still stay with some current news, and we'll talk about Sinners. This is Ryan Coogler's new vampire movie that just came out, starring Michael B. Jordan, Haley Steinfeld, Delroy Lindo, Miles Catan. Um, Really great movie. I think we all really enjoyed it. It's getting a lot of buzz right now. It's been, I think it's what is like the highest grossing weekend for like an R-rated original movie or something. One of the highest grossing movies this year so far. Um, Something that's I think deserves to be seen on the big screen. Great music, great performances as I mentioned, great direction. So we'll get into a little talk about that. I know Jordan, you said you liked it the most, so I'll let you kick it off, and then I'll talk.
Rating wise, loved it. Didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was gonna like it. I feel like I was either gonna love it or hate it, and that's true. And I loved it. I went to see it with my dad. He was in town, so that was nice. Got to hang out with him. Got to go to the theater, which he probably does, I don't know, once every 2 years. He never goes. Um, so that was cool seeing with him, and I honestly thought he was gonna hate it. And he came out of the theater and he was like, "No, it was pretty good." Um, he didn't like the whole. My one complaint with it is we're doing spoilers, right? It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could dive right into spoilers. Yeah.
Okay.
So just be aware that everyone that's watching have a huge fan base.
Yeah, facts. Or thousands of listeners. Yeah, my biggest thing was like I didn't love how they were like, "Oh, they're vampires. Like, let's eat garlic and get wooden sticks." But like, I kind of see how you needed that to finish up the movie, I guess. Have a solution to the problem. So I didn't hate it, but I mean the music, the what's it called? Like the acting, Michael B. Jordan was incredible. Haley Steinfeld, incredible. Miles Catan, I think that's how you say his name, Schneider.
I think it's like that, or like Miles Caton. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
Catan, I
I've
think.
seen how it looks. I'm not sure
Yeah.
how to pronounce it, but I mean, he started singing in the car with Stack, and I just started smiling. I mean, his voice was just
Somebody take
incredible.
me.
His voice was incredible. I mean, that was probably my favorite part of the movie. Just probably Michael B. Jordan's performances. I loved Smoke and Stack. I liked both of them. Um, and the music. I love when movies have great music.
I saw a video of Miles singing live today, like singing the song live with the
Oh,
guitar and
that
everything,
too.
and it was like
Can you send that to me?
incredible.
Jacob, it sounded like the studio recording, didn't it?
Yeah, it was literally
It was
perfect.
exactly the
Yeah. It
same.
made me think that I don't know if this is true, but like it made me think that maybe he sang it live on set, like when they were
Maybe.
recording too. Like I have no
Well,
idea. It could have passed for that.
did you guys stay for the last credit scene, the last one?
Yeah.
So the last one, it was just like a uncut version of him just singing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Maybe
saw
that's something
that
could be
was a
used.
nod to a former blues singer who apparently sold his soul to the devil. That's like a huge rumor with him.
I saw
Um,
that.
I don't have the specifics of it, but I saw it.
Getting a lot of soul to the devil
Interesting.
too, with him too coming out in that trailer. We didn't even talk about that. We should have talked
With
about that.
what?
But the him teaser trailer.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That movie
I
looks
brought that up.
like it's either going to be Like movie of the year or terrible?
Yeah.
I think it
The
looks
trailer
fire.
is
Like
looks really good though.
the concept is really cool. I just don't know how you make that not corny, but we're gonna find out,
It's
I
gonna
guess.
be memed to oblivion though amongst football fans.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. With Sinners, I told you guys this. I had the worst theater experience of my life seeing this. Nothing wrong with the movie, not because of the movie at all. I really enjoyed the movie. I go and there was people behind me, couples behind me talking the whole time, friend groups talking behind me, uh, a guy talking next to me, like responding to all the characters, screaming at the screen, telling the characters not to go outside. There's like the projection had like a dark blue tint the whole time that it just like looked so dark I couldn't see any moment really. And this is like a movie that takes place at night, so like, that just made it even worse. Um, yeah, pretty brutal. But the movie itself, I really enjoyed. I'm gonna see it again this upcoming week when I go visit you guys on Long Island. I'm gonna try to see it in IMAX. So I think I'll probably like it more. I really did like the movie as a whole. Like it was just the experience didn't allow me to get as invested. Um, but I wanted to shout out. Let me find her name actually, because I want to get it right. Because everyone's talking Michael B. Jordan, obviously. I thought Delroy Lindo was awesome,
Bella
but the
Real.
woman who played, no,
Hello,
not not
Real.
Bella Royale. But the woman who played Michael B. Jordan, or is it Smoke, is the one
His
that lived.
girlfriend
Smoke's
Smoke.
wife.
or wife.
Yeah, Woonmi
Wound me.
Misako from like Loki. I thought she was incredible. I thought she was so
Oh,
good.
I knew she looked familiar.
She's B something.
She's what?
What?
B her name in the show in Loki and in
Oh.
Deadpool
Oh,
Wolverine.
I don't know.
Yeah, she is
Whatever the
Oh,
hell it is.
B-15.
B15.
Yeah, I
Bingo.
thought she was terrific. Like she was really, really good. And it was funny. Like this movie had everything. I said it in I posted a review on TikTok where if you haven't seen that, go check that out on our TikTok. Um, yeah, I mean, it was funny. It was like action packed. It was like frightening at times. It was like really original and creative, great music. This movie literally has like everything you could want. It gave me a little bit of like Tarantino vibes, especially at the end with the whole like him coming back and or like waiting and loading up the guns and fighting all the like white supremacist guys. Um, and then there's also I know this has like a lot of, Ryan Coogler's mentioned a lot of influence from like John Carpenter from Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is one of them because of the eyes. But there's like a shot when Stack is like pressed up against the door and it's like the upside down or like the camera's like like pointing up at him like pressed up against the door, which is like The Shining. If you ever seen The Shining, it was like very Kubrick-esque. So I'd love to see all that. While Coogler still makes it like original.
I think it was cool too that they stuck to like vampire lore. Like Ryan Coogler's actually like a ball knower with that. Some people were complaining about how like why weren't the vampires just going into what do you call it? The saloon or
The
whatever you call
club.
it.
The
Yeah,
juke
the
joint.
club. But the
Makes
reason
you
why
fun.
is because if you know vampire lore, they have to be invited in to actually come in. So like that's kind of what was going on there. I know like my sister was like, why the fuck aren't they just going in and tearing up the place? I'm like, you're not a ball knower. You have to see it.
Watch the movie.
Yeah, just watch that.
Stop scrolling TikTok.
I also wanted to ask you guys, 'cause I think we all had like similar ratings between like our rating for this and for Nosferatu. Besides Jordan, I think was very different. But like obviously two big
Oh
vampire
yeah.
movies that just came out in the past few months. Like how do you guys compare that? Like which one did you like more?
I
Like
mean, you
very
know my
different.
comparison.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're
dude.
very different. I think that Sinners does a really good job of making it relatable in a way. But also Nosferatu is very like true to like true vampire lore. Does that make sense? Not that Sinners isn't, but like you
Like
know you
OG.
like
Nosferatu is
yeah,
like the OG besides
yeah.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Like they stole it
And
from
like the
people.
cool thing about Nosferatu too is like we've spoken about it, I'm sure on the pod, but like the costume design, the set design, just like that cinematic experience is really cool. But for me, I think I prefer Sinners over Nosferatu.
Mids Ferratu.
I uh I choose Nosferatu. I favor that over Sinners. I didn't love Nosferatu in my first watch, and I don't know, I've kind of felt sick, and I don't know if that kind of like played into it, but I rewatched a couple maybe months ago, and I gave it a four, but like I'm lying to myself. This movie is a 4.5. Like it is great stylistically. I think the darkness of it fits what I like perfectly, and I still think Sinners is great. I'll share my thoughts in a few, but I love Nosferatu.
Yeah, Christian,
It's
you
neck and
having a challenge over there?
yeah, I mean, I think it's neck and neck. Nosferatu is more, I don't want to say it's like realistic because it's not, but it has like a more serious tone to it, I guess you could say, than Sinners. So the way that they portray like the vampires is drastically different. I think Sinners is a more entertaining movie, I would say, but Nosferatu might be better with, I would say, like world building. Uh, Going back to what Chase was saying, like costume design, like putting yourself into that world. Um, that's tough, man. I think
I
I
mean,
would
yeah,
probably lean Sinners, honestly. Just like the musical aspect, I think puts it over the top for me.
yeah. I agree. That's a good
Yeah.
way to put it. I mean,
What the fuck was
Yeah, I heard that. I
that?
heard
I
that.
just I'm just agreeing with the point. That's all.
No, no,
I
there
think
was a laugh there.
That was creepy as
no,
fuck.
because he brought it out. He brought the point. Not something that I thought of, but that's a really great point. Probably something that I would have, wanted to include.
Jagger moves up
Yeah,
Nosferatu.
But
Nosferatu.
Four and a
yeah,
half.
the music in Sinners is, I mean, it's unbelievable. It's like I texted you guys like I was dancing the whole movie, especially that one sequence.
I
That
believe it.
famous sequence.
Dude,
Now it's
I was smiling ear to ear in that
yeah.
sequence, which I have something to say about that part. That was my simultaneously my favorite part about the movie, but also one of the bigger gripes I have. I kind of got taken out a little bit when I'm pretty sure I heard like NWA songs and like Biggie songs, like beats in the back, and I'm kind of like, I just kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. I didn't love it. I know we're combining the past, the present, and the future of music, but I would have preferred some like different. I don't know. I just didn't love that part to me. I don't know how you guys felt with that, but
I
I'm
Would
with
like,
you.
are you saying you would have preferred like stay true to that time, like that type of
no, no,
music?
no, because I like how you're combining the past, present, and the future, and it is from the future, like those songs, but. I don't know how you'd go about it. Maybe just some like futuristic like keyboard like jingle thing.
and
I
Mm,
just didn't love hearing NWA and Biggie in it.
I liked it because I think the idea behind it was like you have to be so musically gifted to be able to like be that. I don't know how what they what was the name that they gave to the guy in it, like the guy who was able to bring out like the souls through his music. I forgot like the name of it, but like you have to be so musically gifted to be that type of person. So they're playing like the best rappers from the future. I feel like that was such a cool like added feature to it. But I didn't like when everybody started like twerking. Then it kind of like took me out
Yeah,
of.
I
which it's weird
yeah.
because I think that's like when I think about that movie, like this is the theme, this is the scene I'm thinking about. Like that scene was fucking awesome, but there were so many little things that I didn't like about it, which is weird how it could be my favorite.
I thought the scene was perfect. I think it's for me, I think one of the best scenes of the decade. Like I was just so like locked in, just like blown away at everything that was happening. It was like it just kept getting like surprising, and they're bringing different styles of music, and like the actual musician comes in with like the electric guitar, and then all of a sudden the camera goes around, and there's like a DJ up there, and just like keeps adding to the scene, and like it's just this cohesive community of music throughout time, which like the movie's about community and music like very heavily. Um, and I just I thought it was so good. I'm losing my train of thought. Someone else can go. I'll chime back in if I think
not
of it.
not related point here, and I would love for a weapons merchant to fact check me here. But did anybody notice? I think that Michael B. Jordan had like a modern day handgun through the movie.
Oh, I know
I have
exactly what
no
you're talking about because I
idea.
kind of saw it. I was like, it looks like it's like straight out like an actual like gun, like a handgun that you
Yeah.
would have, like a pistol. It didn't look like a, but I mean,
Like a
we're
revolver or
not.
something.
Yeah, it didn't look like.
Yeah, I'm not a gun ball knower, but I wonder if like that was intentional, like they wanted him to have like a modern day handgun. I don't know. I don't. And that was just something they threw in.
I didn't really realize.
Me
I
neither.
forgot what
Yeah,
scene
and
it was
Jagger.
so transparent in. Like he was walking
It was when he
left.
shot
Is he
the guy,
shot
I
him in
think,
the
at his
head?
truck. At his truck, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, when the guy
Yes.
was like robbing his truck in the beginning.
I noticed that too, so I agree. I don't know what
It
that
was
was.
interesting.
I did not notice that actually. That's interesting. I did remember my point. If it just go back quickly
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
that one scene, is about, like I mentioned, this movie's about music and how these people, like this community, they just kind of play their music and um cousin Sammy, I believe the character's name was, he just like plays his music and sings his songs not knowing how influential that's going to be for the black community and just people in general like in the future. So it's like shows I think just how these people express themselves in a way like without even knowing the kind of influence that they can have, and then it shows that influence building throughout time. I just thought that
That's
was like
cool.
so, and I love hearing Ryan Coogler talk about it. I don't know if you guys have heard his like interviews and stuff, but it's like it's just so interesting to me.
Good way to put it.
I
Yeah.
uh I echo a lot of the points, so I'll make mine quick. I wouldn't have thought that I would enjoy the first half of the movie, which is like setting up a juke joint, like getting everyone together, over the latter half of a vampire monster movie. Never would have thought that for me, but I did, even though I thought it was great. And then Jack O'Connell, the main vampire, I thought was fucking awesome. And this is more like what like personal, but the 28 years later, like he's gonna be in it, he's gonna be a cult leader in that, and I think that was a perfect role for him in there.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
That's
So
cool.
that's something else to get you
probably
excited
be
for.
pretty good in that. He's in a couple. I noticed him. I can't put my finger on what he is actually in that I know him from, but I know I've definitely seen him before.
That's cool. All right. I'll quickly ask you guys. So Ryan Coogler has made a bunch of movies, a lot of really great ones. Black Panther, Sinners, Creed, one. Rank them right now. I'll start with Jagger.
Sinners, Black Panther, Creed.
Okay. I think that's
Same here.
I think I'd flip Creed and Black Panther. I think I'd go
Um,
Sinners easily one and then Creed then Black Panther.
I'm with you, Shanae.
Man, I'm right about to rewatch Black Panther too, so I feel like this isn't a great ranking from me, but I wish you would have included Fruitvale Station, but I
I would
think
have
I'll
if everyone
go,
saw it.
yeah.
That'd be number two for me, I think.
Yeah, I think that would be one for me, but I'll go Sinners. No, I'll go Black Panther, Sinners, Creed.
Oh wow.
Okay.
That's
I gotta
fair.
rewatch Black Panther though.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture, I think, right? Like that was a
I
big
think
thing
so.
for
Yeah.
him. All right.
Songs, the
So
album slaps on Black Panther too, so he knows what
Yeah.
he's doing with the
does, yeah.
music.
And that's Ludwig did the score for that as well, I believe. Ludwig
Ludwig knows
Göransson.
ball.
Oh yeah.
Ludwig does know ball. They were like roommates in college, which is
All the
sick.
stars over the like the end credit scene. Oh my God,
Yeah,
incredible.
it's amazing. The music in that especially. All right, we will talk about The Last of Us now. I'm glad we had that little Sinners conversation. But we'll talk about The Last of Us because usually we wouldn't do this because it comes out on Sundays. Usually we record on Sundays, but we're recording on a Monday. The episode just came out last night. Think it blew us all away. As Jagger mentioned earlier, me, Chase, and Christian had played the game. We knew this was coming. Jagger knew it was coming. Jordan did not know it was coming at all. Incredible episode of television. Spoiler warning, quickly, please do not listen to this if you haven't seen the episode or played the game. Um, but I'll give it to Christian to start because I know Christian, like myself, is a huge fan of the game. So let's hear those immediate thoughts on what's probably the best episode or biggest episode of the show so far.
Yeah. So played both games. Immediate thoughts. The show absolutely delivered on one of the biggest plot points in video game history, I'll say, with Joel's death. Um, the show does it a bit differently than the game. Obviously, Tommy is actually with Ellie, right? Tommy's with Ellie.
No,
Tommy's
he's
with
with Joel.
Joel.
With Joel, sorry, with Joel instead of Dina. So I think it was fine the way they did that because they ended up having like the riot on Jackson, which was really cool. A couple questionable decisions with uh Tommy just running into a horde of zombies and they're just like all ignoring him, which was kind of funny. But overall, like there was a lot of great parallels between the show and the game, like the fence scene when she's crawling through. I don't know how you guys felt watching it, but playing the game, it was absolutely terrifying.
My heart was
Um,
pounding watching that, and I've never seen that before. I was like I was like actually caring for Abby. I was like, get out of here, man, go.
and just to touch on the final scene, obviously with Joel dying, I think Bella Ramsey and Pedro both delivered is great. It's really hard to replicate how great the game is, but I think they're doing a really great job with it so far. So Very impressed, and from here, I will say it gets very dark and fun, and let's enjoy the
I don't
ride.
know if it gets fun. I think it gets grueling.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think I'll love it.
Perfect.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Perfect.
I'm not going to reiterate some of the points you made, and also I'll keep it brief because I did a whole review on TikTok. But Tommy's, you know, like Tommy's sequence in Jackson was phenomenal. I absolutely love that addition, and also the final shot with Ellie and Joel, also not in the game or not the final shot, but that shot where they're laying on the floor together, also just sensational. Just a beautiful addition. I gave a round of applause in the TikTok for whoever suggested that because they deserve it. But yeah, awesome episode. Totally lived up to my expectations.
Yeah, go check out
Surpassed.
Chase's review. Go check out Chase's review on TikTok.
Yeah.
It's really great. Um, I don't know. You guys have any other Jordan? I want to hear your thoughts because obviously, like we mentioned, you didn't know this was coming, didn't play the game,
No
and I love
idea.
hearing that reaction.
I mean, I was absolutely blown away. I texted them after the episode, just a picture of my face, and I was like, for all those just listening, I'm just staring at the TV, no words. Um, and I texted them after also. I said, I started the episode up. It was like in the ads, didn't even start yet, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I don't know, like they love The Last of Us. I don't think I like it as much just because I don't know, maybe I didn't play the video game, maybe it's just not for me. Proceeds to watch 56 minutes of pure perfection. I mean, I literally only have two complaints, and they're just super small. Obviously, the Tommy walking through a horde of zombies trying to get, I don't know what you called him, like the bigger zombie,
The bloater.
the bloater. Sure, that's my stomach. Um, and that is like, okay, whatever. And then also, like, I just started laughing when the zombies were like sprinting up and Tommy screams and he's like, Jackson Hole! And they all like repeat him. I was like, okay. But other than that, I mean, absolutely incredible episode. I had no idea that was gonna happen. Um, I mean, the way it happened too. I mean, you guys have kind of told me the differences, and I've seen it on TikTok, but the way that like golf club just goes smoothly down into his neck, like just it's like cutting butter. I was like, oh my God, it was so gross.
Yeah, what an addition that was to it. Because that in the game, for those who haven't played the game, Abby just kind of beats him over the head with the club repeatedly, and like he just, gets hit too hard too many times. But I kind of liked how in this, and we've talked about how Caitlin Deaver is not like the physical presence that Abby is in the game, but they show her just repeatedly bashing his leg to the point where the golf club breaks, and then she's like, "All right, that's not enough. I'm gonna beat the shit out of him with my hands." And then when that's over, I'll just take this broken golf club that I just broke on his leg and then like just finish the job. And I was like, that was brutal. That was Abby, even though she's not big and jacked and strong. Like that was the pain and like the ferocity of Abby in the games. And it was sick.
She would have kept going like easily for like
Yeah.
probably a while if her boy didn't tell her like, all right, end it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, I'll say the one thing like, um, that I was maybe not entirely loving in that whole interaction with them. Like, and her delivery was great, but the monologue was like a little bit long and like just like too much exposition. I was like, let's, she's just explaining like this is my backstory, this is who I am. I was like a little bit too much like spoon feeding to the audience, I think. Um, but her
I,
like
Well,
acting was great. Like she performed it great.
I
What'd
was
you say, Chase?
also thinking the
Joel
same.
Joel told her shut the fuck up. So do it
Yeah,
Yeah,
already.
that was
that
great too.
that's what I
That
was
was
gonna
Yeah.
awesome.
say. Because I
Yeah.
was like, she kept going, and I was like, oh my God, she's still going. And then Joel's like, can you fucking finish this or like whatever he said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Yeah, that
actually
was
is
great.
one more difference between the show and the game that I just picked up on that I don't know if we discussed, but if you remember when they get to the log cabin with Abby's group, if you remember in the game, Joel walks in and he goes, "Hi, like guys, I'm Joel," and then that's when like the whole group like realizes, "Holy fuck, like this is Joel. We're about to like take this guy out." But instead in the show, Abby goes ahead and is like, "This is Joel," so that's like a little subtle difference there.
Hmm.
Mhm.
It's a good catch.
Yeah, she also like immediately shoots him in the leg in the game.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, I'm Joel." And she's like, "Oh, you guys seem like you know me or something." And then she's just like, "Yeah, we do." Just pops a cap in his knee.
Doesn't Ellie get socked in the face in the game? Like,
Yeah, she gets
Yeah,
knocked out. Instead, she gets, I think, kicked in the stomach in the show or whatever.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. In the game, she gets kicked in the face, and like it cuts to black right there.
Hmm.
Um, and then Dina like finds her. But yeah, in this, they like kick her in the stomach, and then she crawls over all injured, which was a
Do
cool
they
addition.
do they have the final scene of the show in the game where Ellie and Dina are riding on the horses with whatever his name? I thought that was
No,
awesome. Wait, like it's like
yeah,
they're just dragging him along like at the back. Oh my God. I
Yeah.
was just sitting there
That
just
was a great
staring at it.
addition. Yep, that
yeah.
was great.
And the music playing over it, Chase. I know we were just talking about this. If you wanted to bring it up,
Yeah, the singer of that song that's playing over that is Ashley Johnson, who portrays Ellie in the video game, which was really cool. And the song is in the, I think it's in the game too, right? Or was it just the trailer, Schnur?
I know it's in the trailer. I think it's in the game. I'm not
Yeah, I think
100%.
it might be in the game too. But just a really cool addition that probably not a lot of people picked up. Like I know Schnur didn't pick up on it at first. He did after, but I picked up on it right away. I thought that was awesome. Really, really cool.
Yeah. One other difference I did, oh, two, I guess. In the game when uh Ellie or when like Ellie goes to that like I guess the 7-Eleven that has like all the weed in it, she goes there with Dina and they have like an intimate like moment. Like they kind of hook up there.
Yeah.
Which is big for their story, which is interesting they took that out. See how they kind of replace that. I think they're gonna have to do that in some way. So how they do that, we'll see. Um, and then the other thing with Abby's group, actually, there was one less person there. Because in the game, like the guy that spits on him and says like whatever, like fuck you, pendejo, or whatever it is a different guy than the guy that gets cut in the face. But in this, they just had the guy that gets cut in the face. He just did that also. So there's
Yeah.
one less character there. I don't know.
He's
What
Captain
else?
America's sidekick too, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's Joaquin Torres,
That's what I thought it
the new
was.
Falcon. Yeah. All right. Any other points on Last of Us?
Ready for next week?
Rest in peace, Joel. Pedro, round of applause. Your portrayal of Joel has been spectacular.
Oh yeah. Now we can get started. I was saying this before. Also, it's
Yeah.
like that seems like such a big thing. It's like now we go, we ride. Really excited for what's to come next. With that, we'll get over to our main event, our main card of the week, I guess.
This is definitely
Um,
gonna be a main card, but we're all yelling at each other.
we're
I
gonna
don't
talk
think there's
about
gonna be a lot of
Dune.
yelling.
I don't think so.
We're gonna talk about Dune
Because the
Part
haters
One and
always hang
Part Two.
around.
These movies are extremely special to me. Jagger's a huge fan, special to him as well. Jordan loves them. Christian and Chase have been iffy on them, I think, for a little while now.
As Christian rubs his
But they,
hands.
but they wanted to rewatch them. Um, I could talk about this movie forever, both of them. I'll just intro Part One quick because that's what we'll start off with, and I'm sure we'll end up kind of meshing the points together as we go. Um, but yeah, quick synopsis. If you don't know what Dune is for whatever reason, it's about this family, the Atreides, and mainly there's the son Paul, who's the son of a duke, Duke Leto Atreides. Um, and the Atreides family gets to go to Arrakis as an assignment from the Emperor, this desert planet Arrakis, which houses this uh, mineral called spice, which is like the most valuable resource in the galaxy. And then as they go to Arrakis, there's like a lot of political turmoil. Paul kind of starts to find himself. I won't spoil too much yet because we'll get into it, but that's just kind of the general synopsis, I guess, of this massive story. And Dune 1 follows the first half of the book. The book is like 600 pages. It takes up these first two movies, but the first one is just the first half of the book. Um, and it's incredible. It's one of the best movies, one of my favorite movies ever. And I'll start with Jagger here, and then I will go after Jagger though I want to go straight to Christian because I need to hear
Yeah,
his thoughts.
let's just go open discussion after Jagger.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like Schnur said, these movies mean so much to me. Like, Dune Part 2 is my favorite movie of all time. Part 1 is at 13, I believe, for me all time. I We are going to see Messiah in 70 millimeter in IMAX in New York City to watch the conclusion of the greatest trilogy of all time. Because
Oh.
people say that part one is bad and they have no idea what they're talking about. Everyone, Christian and Chase both hated it when it first came out.
It's not
Hated
true.
it. It is true. Hated
Not
it. Would
true.
bash it. Oh,
Give
I'm
it a
just
three and a
watching
half.
Sands. I'm just watching. Christian gave it a
Nope,
3.5 too, but it talked like it was the worst movie of all time.
not true.
Well,
Christian did.
who's talking here? So they were like, it's boring. Nothing happens. It's just nothingness for hours and hours. And this could be like meshing like you guys with my friends from school. It is such a lie. There are so many impactful moments in this movie, even though it's a 1v1 combat in the end against Jameis and Paul. It is still such a monumental moment. The tent scene where he is spitting about how there's an unquenchable fire spreading across the universe like a holy war is one of my favorite scenes of all time. The sounds in this movie, the cinematography in this movie, the acting, which me and Sure talked about a couple weeks ago. Timmy might be better in part one than he is in part two, and that is something to say even about part two coming. There is nothing about this movie that I do not love. And these both have like changed my life. Like I fucking hate reading. I hate reading. I have the book over here. I have a giant sandworm on my wall.
I looked at
I almost bought I almost bought a still suit for this fucking thing. I texted Sure. I texted Sure the other day how much are still suits. He goes, I found one for 260 yesterday on Amazon for $50, and then we never bought them.
Oh my
But
God. If you showed up in a still suit, I would have pissed myself.
my favorite director absolutely fucking delivered on this movie and delivered on part two. And I can't wait to just have this discussion. I'm so glad that you guys have, even if you guys didn't say you didn't hate it, have come around more than than previous watches because it is on my first watch I didn't love it. On my second watch, five. Third watch, five, five, five. Like I could watch this movie every day.
Five, five, five. That was a spit.
That was a spit. Tough to follow. But okay, so like you said, first time I watched it, I actually didn't like this movie at all. Second time I watched it, I didn't like it. This is my third watch, and I grew a lot of appreciation for this movie. So let me preface what I'm about to say with that I actually did like this movie a lot, and I gave it a 4 out of 5. So this movie is good. But I kind of want this discussion to be about what I don't like about the movie and what I kind of want to hear your guys' opinions on that. So, like the first thing that I wanted to bring up is I think that part one in particular just has a weak villain. I think the Baron is just kind of trash. I don't know how you guys feel about the Baron. He's boring. He doesn't like scare me at all. You don't really get a huge backstory. So I kind of want to hear about what you guys think about like the villain problem for me in Dune Part
you
1.
don't need a backstory, I don't think. I think you drop him in, you see what he is, you know what the Harkonnens are, and he's the leader of this, and it exists. I think to take the time to like give a whole massive backstory on him when there's so much world building to do that they do so successfully would just be like a waste of time. And I think one of the problems, or I guess like people would say the pacing is slow, that would just slow it down more, I think, to like waste time with like a massive backstory. I think they establish what the Harkonnens are right out the gate. Gurney Halleck provides like some more of an emotion and context towards
So
it and his
good.
personal hatred. And like you see what they do. The creature that's crawling around there with like the little hands and like it's like let the thing leave and it's like get out and then it goes. The reason it listens to the Bene Gesserit's voice is because that thing is a person. That is a human. Like that is disgusting. It's like you know how disgusting these Harkonnens are and how evil they are. I don't think you need more backstory on it. And I
So
think he's
do you want? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's in the book too, but like that's Doctor Yue's wife, is it not?
is it?
I'm pretty sure that's Doctor Yue's wife.
That I didn't know. That I did not think, but that would be
I
crazy.
believe that's what it is. Could have just been a conspiracy, but I'm pretty sure I think it's in the book that like she's like go be with your whatever, and they're basically just dead.
His wife is dead. Yeah.
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 His wife is dead in the book. That's the same, but I don't know if she's that creature. But that thing is crazy. And that'd be cool if it was.
So do you guys think that my take is crazy in that sense, or like how do you guys feel overall? Like the Harkonnens are like a cool, I guess, like group, but like the Baron himself.
I mean, I
I
don't think he's like
see
you go,
I see
Jagger.
validity to it. Especially because if you look at part one by itself, I completely disagree. But if you watch his downfall in part two, I'm like, okay, maybe he should have been the main villain. Maybe they should have introduced the Emperor more and should have been more like in the first one. and been more like a Darth Maul, Palpatine type of thing. Like, because the whole time Baron's basically just a puppet. He thinks he's controlling things, but the Emperor is the one who's trying to send him around. Princess Irulan is trying to like they're like chess pieces on the board. It's the Atreides versus the Harkonnens, and the Emperor is playing the game. So if you look at it like that, I think I think you'll start to understand a little bit more. Like not understand because I know you understand, but take more appreciation in it, I guess.
Yeah,
I,
I like the way you put that.
I just don't find quick point. I don't find the Baron threatening at all, which is why that's just kind of my viewpoint with it. So I can see where Christian's coming from.
Do you find the Harkonnens threatening, just as like a group?
I think they're gross, like you said. I think they're disgusting. I think they're grimy. I'm not like, oh my God, they're so menacing, you know? I think they're fine. I don't think they're
I think, yeah, I think kind of like to Jagger's point, it's sort of Game of Thrones-ish, like where it's like these different families all kind of like fighting for power. They all think they're in control, and they're not. It's really just they're playing a game. Um, and I don't think he's like, and in the book, I think he's a lot goofier too. And in the original movie, he's kind of just like a little bit goofier. Um, and they make him a lot darker and more serious, but he still, at the end of the day, is supposed to represent this like gluttonous, fat, like greedy, like leader of these people whose only concern is like money and riches and power. And I think from his character design, from like the way he acts, the way he just like I don't think he's supposed to be a threatening like fighter. I think that would ruin the character actually. I think he's supposed to be a guy that just sits back and just wants everyone to do everything else for him and just kind of reaps the riches that he gets from other people doing stuff for him and allowing all these things to happen. He's,
He
as
the
you said,
only he's I don't think he's supposed to be as menacing because the only people that you see him kill are his mates who are like powerless essentially. And he
mhm.
just kills them basically off screen and submerges into his like black water, but like
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
not much behind that. He's not dueling people, he's not fighting people.
I think that's all fine. I think you guys bring up valid points, but it just doesn't do it for me.
Jordan,
Fair.
do you have any?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of just listening. I'm curious as to what Chase and Christian have to say.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't had like a full discussion on this. It's been, us three, me, Jagger, and Schneider saying we love it, and Chase and Christian not saying they hate it, but saying they, it's not one of their favorites. So I'm kind of taking this in. Um, I'm also a little tired, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'll chime in. I'm okay.
Um, there's a couple other points I want to bring up. I don't know, Chase, if you have anything like off the top of your head. Schnur, you touched on pacing. Uh, I think the movie definitely focuses on exposition, like setting up, like backstory, and I loved that on rewatch the third time. But I think there are times where it does just feel a little bit too slow, and there just are like empty shots which do look beautiful, but at times it's just like, okay, like enough is enough. Let's push this a little bit forward.
Can you name one?
Like, yeah, what do you mean empty shots?
Like there are shots where you're just like maybe looking at like the sun, or you're looking back at like back down on the planet. You guys know more about like the names of things, or you're just looking at the sand and it's just like there's nothing there.
I don't want to
That's not
I don't want to
true.
come at you, but one of your favorite movies of all time, 2001: A Space Odyssey, has a ship just flying for minutes at a time and just music over it.
Well, I wouldn't say 2001: Space Odyssey is one of my favorite movies of all time, but like that was just like one of my minor complaints, which is like I said, I still like the movie. I just think like some of those slower points took me out of it a little bit.
It's
Yeah,
fair.
I
Completely
agree.
fair.
I agree with that point. I think the pacing is not there for me. I've not to go into Dune 2 a little bit, but I will just for the sake of the point. Like Dune 2 feels like it's like you're in it, like you want to be in it. It's quick, like it feels like a quick movie. Like Dune 1 feels like a drag to me. And that's not to say that it's bad, because I don't think it's a bad movie. I give it a 3.5 of my first watch. I didn't want to move it up after my second watch, but I appreciated it a little more. Just understanding the movie a little more. And I was speaking to Schnur a little bit, and I think that part of Dune's problem, and this isn't necessarily like their fault, but I think it's like since, and some people might like this, but not for me, like it just throws you into the universe and like doesn't really give you much. Like the movie just opens up with Paul waking up, rolling out of bed. And like I think that like the movie can be very confusing for people if you're not in tune with the Dune franchise, like myself. So you're sitting through the whole movie, and if you feel like the pacing, like for me, is not so great, it's like what the fuck am I watching? It's just like it's kind of just things are happening. You can't, and if and on your first watch, it's just like how am I supposed to figure out what I'm watching? And I get like, yeah, you're supposed to watch like a couple more times. But if you're catering to a viewer like me who doesn't really love to watch movies more than once, unless like you have that hunger for it, which I didn't have for Dune 1, then like I just don't think it caters to that type of person.
Can
Yeah.
I can I ask you then, compared to like other movies that you do love, so like a Star Wars, like A New Hope, for example, just kind of throws you straight away into
Yeah,
like a battle
so
on a ship.
Star
Like
Wars
you
is
don't know what's going on.
different. Star Wars is different for me because I watched them when I was a kid, so I can't like tell you
Okay.
how I felt about it when I first watched it. I kind of just like from my earliest memories are just watching Star Wars, you know. So it's like I can't really put myself in
Mm,
those shoes to think about it.
it's fair.
Um, I can, yeah, I can't really think of another movie. I'm sure there are some, to your point, but I can't really think of one off the top
Yeah.
of my head that builds off of that.
Yeah, well, like, I was gonna bring up also just like Back to the Future opens up, but just like he's like skating around or whatever, and then like Indiana Jones too. But like you said, like if there's like
Yeah,
your kid movies you don't really remember, like
yeah,
how
yeah,
you,
yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
I
I
think
guess
that you go,
yeah, go.
Christian.
Okay. So one thing in particular you guys are asking me like where it maybe felt slow. I just thought of it. So this is another point I'm gonna bring up. But after they crash down, I'm talking about Paul and Jessica, right? They
Yep.
crash down, then they're in the sand, and then they're going I think it's south to find the Fremen. That journey to find them just feels very long. I don't know if you guys agree. I feel like that's where it just felt a little bit slow. I think it even was like 30 minutes like to find them. Could be wrong. But like that part of it was kind of dragging.
My
It's a lot
opinion, I
longer in the
love that
book.
part.
What did you
It's a
say?
lot longer. It's a lot longer in the book, I'll say.
Oh
But Jordan,
wow.
what were you saying?
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love that part.
but
Um, when they're in that like what is it? Like cocoon thing.
still tent.
And like that's what Jagger was talking about with, where T Timmy's having that little monologue where he's kind of going crazy, like the Holy War, and I mean that part's great. I love the Bene Gesserit. So anything like obviously right before that was when they were in like I don't know the names of these things, dude.
It
This
is
universe is way too
called.
big. The helicopter
I
thing.
finally learned it
Ornithopter?
this time.
The
What's it called?
ornithopter? Are you talking about?
Ornithopter.
Like the
Sure.
dragonfly thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the ornithopter.
sure. Um, they're in that or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, that I love that sequence. That's like one of my favorite parts of Dune 1 because I just love the voice. It's like my favorite thing, I think, in Dune, besides obviously Paul just having oozing aura.
Yeah, and the voice is great. I agree. I love the voice part of it, but that's another thing too. Is like the movie opens up and she's like, "Use the voice." It's like, what is happening? Like that's kind of
Well,
my
it's the first 10
Well,
Not to
minutes.
stab.
Yeah.
I,
I
I
think
wouldn't say that you're expected to know everything,
yeah.
but then as it goes on, you kind of figure out what the voice is. And that's what I
Yeah.
like about this movie. Like you were saying, they throw you in and you kind of don't really know what's going on. And some people don't like that, and that's fine. Um, I personally like that because it keeps me engaged because like I'm trying to figure out what's going on. If they give me everything up front, then I'm like
Yeah.
kind
yeah.
of checked out.
I
I, I
agree.
I think I agree with that point, but I think for me, like my first watch, like I was so confused that like it took me out of it.
No, it's
That's why I
fair.
didn't love it on my first watch.
Jordan's point, you guys know I'm a big backstory guy, and I think on third rewatch that I grew a bigger appreciation for like kind of piecing, the puzzle together of like what everything is. Even like I think there's even a part where they were going over like what the thumper is before they used the thumper. I think that's what it's called. And
Hmm.
like, I caught like up on that and I was like, oh, that's actually very cool.
Yeah, and I love
Um.
the. Or you can go Jagger if you
God.
want, but I was gonna say I love the way that they like establish things without. And I'm very much. I tend to be like anti-exposition. Like I feel like we're all like adults. Like we all like movies. We're all like smart. Like we can watch things and like figure most things out on our own. Unless like obviously it's super confusing. Might take a little more thought. And I agree with your point. Chase said it's like a confusing world to understand on definitely on first watch. But I like that they don't just like sit there and
Yeah.
explain every little thing to you.
No,
It's
yeah,
like
me
they
too.
This
I
is
don't
a
like
they
movies that
show
thumper.
spoon.
you.
I don't like movies that spoon feed you, but I do think
Yeah.
that like I said, for like a casual person, I think that this movie is just very confusing on first watch,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which
Oh,
I
could
think
universe
that's
is
which I think
huge.
hurts it, which I think hurts it for a lot of people. Like some people might have seen the first movie and had no interest in the second one, which is crazy because the second one's great.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
One thing I wanted to bring up is one of my favorite scenes from this movie is the Gom Jabbar scene,
Oh
and just thinking
yeah.
about it with the voice, I feel like because that's only about 30 minutes into the movie. With the voice, you kind of see more at that point. It's like basically you're just under the commands because she yells like "come here" like from all the way across a room, and then next thing you know, split second shot, he's on his knees right in front of her with the Gom Jabbar. With that scene, the shots of like Paul's face and the fire like splash through with the burnt off hands, I think that's amazing. I want to know what you guys think about that.
I love the Gom Jabbar.
So good.
go for
You
it.
guys go.
I'm
Should you
I'm in agreement. I loved it on rewatch. I thought it was great. And to Jordan's point, I absolutely love the Benny Gesserits now. They're fucking
They're
crazy
the
and all.
best.
It's so sick. And um Paul's story, like becoming like the first. I don't know if he's the first male Benny Gesserit, but there's not supposed to be male Benny Gesserits. It's just awesome.
And
But
Quizzes
that's what the
Haddock.
Kwisatz Haderach is. Yeah. It's
so
like
like we'll get into that. But
Mm.
Ozzy Bay?
yeah.
Yeah, Rozzy Bay.
No,
Jagger,
Quasi.
whatever
Oh,
you call that
better.
scene, I did really enjoy it.
Chase was calling it the Kalasha beam the other night when I
The
was
Kalasha Beam, that's what it was. The Kalasha Beam.
talking.
How could anybody ever remember? I don't know how you guys remember that off the top of your head. It's crazy.
The Quizzes Haddock.
I've
It's
seen it
crazy.
so
Like
many
it's
fucking
it's impressive to
times.
me that you guys know
I
that
mean,
off
we've
the top of your
also
head.
all probably seen the movie, what, 5+ times?
Yeah.
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 I
I've
feel
seen
like
it.
that's like
This is
a
my
big
sixth.
thing with it. And this is something that happens with Game of Thrones when I rewatch it. Stuff happens faster and I notice more things every time. And this is something that happens with Dune too. And I think every time you rewatch something, and I love things like that. Maybe that's why I love Game of Thrones so much and why I love rewatching it so much. Is you find new things out every single time. And I think that's amazing that it's like so many layers in such like a detailed movie.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was saying to Chase the other night too when we were talking about it, like same kind of thing, how it like can be confusing. But I think, and even he mentioned it's like it's confusing, yeah, it can be hard to fully get into, but you still enjoy it. Like, there's still a lot to like and appreciate.
Yeah.
And I think that allows you to be like, yeah, like I would go back for another rewatch. This is your second time watching it, Chase? Third time?
Uh, I think my second time watching Dune 1. Yeah,
Okay.
both time. Yeah, both Dunes were my second time.
So yeah, and it's like, it's like Chase said, like he watched it again, appreciate it a little more. Christian watched it like his second or third time, appreciate it a little more. I think it allows you to go back and revisit, and you like you said, Jagger, just like keep learning new things, and you get more and more out of it on rewatch. Which like, and you say it's like a little slow, which maybe can make it hard to rewatch, but I think it is interesting enough to rewatch, and it's paced slower than Dune 2, but I don't think slower is bad because I think it's paced exactly how the story should be paced, where it's like it's immersing you in this world that is brand new, and like you have to kind of understand it as for it to like move along, and like it really the slow pace I think allows you to kind of sit
Mhm.
on Arrakis with these characters in this world, which I liked.
Yeah.
That's a
I mean,
big thing with. Well, sorry, one second before I get out with the pacing. Dune 1984, directed by David Lynch, like you think it would be amazing, but they combined all this into one movie, and it's like, and it failed dramatically, like terribly.
And
So I
shorter than
think
Dune
that
1.
split, yeah. So I think that split was a great idea by them instead of just making this one movie and just trying exactly what David Lynch did.
possible. I was just gonna say, like, imagine having everything in Dune 1, but pacing it like Dune 2. Like, you'd really have no idea what's going
Yeah,
on.
that's fair.
Yeah.
Um, there's one more thing I want to bring up before we get into Dune 2. So I know we just talked about pacing. Just want to say like pacing like didn't take me out of it. It just felt slow at times. It wasn't like brutal.
Mhm.
Um, the last piece that I wanted to bring up, which is my biggest complaint about the movie, so I'm really interested to see what you guys think. Um, there are a lot of characters in this movie that I really enjoyed on rewatch. Like Duncan Idaho is fucking great. I did not like him the first couple times. Leto or Leto, however you say his name, is also fucking great.
Leto.
Yeah. But I do think that there's like other characters that it's like very hard to emotionally attach to them just because the movie like at certain points with like the characters just like expressionless and it's like very stoic and I think that's what they are going for. But I think for somebody who's like trying to like become obsessed with the world, like for me that's hard to like engage in that character. So like for example, I would say like after Paul and Jessica like learn about the death of, Leto, they don't really like show any emotion to it. They're just like, okay, and then like next scene. And like for me, like maybe that is what they're trying to portray, but I don't know if, for me if that's the best way to do it. Maybe like the Bene Gesserits aren't supposed to have like emotions like Jedis. Like they're not supposed to be emotional.
I have a response. Yeah. So, um, Jessica, yeah, like Jessica does feel kind of suffering, but it is kind of like you said. I think like the Bene Gesserit, um, struggle to like have that emotion, but she feels emotion much more so, especially in the book they explain this a lot more. So that kind of helps me get more understanding. But like she has way more emotional of a reaction than Paul, because the Paul like his visions and the whole Kwisatz Haderach thing, and like that's why he's like you Bene Gesserit, like he like hates the Bene Gesserit because like they turned him into a freak. He's like, I can't even feel emotion right now. My dad's dead and I don't really feel emotion. And he's like unable to really express that. And that's like after that whole explosive moment, he then is able to like release that emotion and cry.
Would you say that at that point that's the turning point where Paul was like, okay, like I'm all in on like me being this like messiah in a way? Like
No.
No, because
No.
he wants to be a Fremen the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
He
don't think
does
he's all
not.
in.
He is good until he goes south. That is it. He's good, and then there
Well,
are still
I
some
disagree
redeeming
with that.
qualities.
But
can we jump
I
into Dune 2?
can I say one last thing before we
Go
go
Yeah, yeah,
ahead.
ahead
go
you
and
go
go
ahead,
and then
into
because
we'll
I
this?
want
go.
to build off of
Then
that for Dune
The
2.
only thing I dislike in this movie are Paul's hugs. Paul's hugs are the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
He did have an awkward
Every
hug to
time.
Fear
His
Halot when he
hugs?
first
Fear
saw.
That's
when he jumps, he like jumps into their arms with like one leg. It is the
I
like
haven't
it is
I
the
didn't
noticed.
pick
worst
up on
thing.
that.
Oh my God, it is horrific.
Be-
Okay, go.
before
Um,
before we jump to Dune Part 2 though, do you guys agree at all with what I'm saying, or am I
No.
crazy?
Not really.
I can see where you're coming from, but I don't agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like because like you said, you liked Duncan Idaho, you liked Leto, you liked Paul.
Paul?
Like, did you like Jessica? You didn't like Jessica?
No, I like Jessica because I like the Bene Gesserit character. I just
Okay.
like
So
the emotionless, I would say, like the lack of emotions sometimes is like hard to connect with the character. Like for example, like in Star Wars, you immediately fall in love with like a Han Solo, right? Like I don't know,
emotionally, like,
I don't
is
know,
there?
because like he's just like that fun, like charismatic type of guy that like the main characters in Dune, like I don't know if you get that. So it's hard to connect
It's
with the main characters, I would say, and like Chani also.
Like that's like a
I don't,
Duncan
I
Idaho
don't disagree with
character.
I'm
that
curious if
heavy.
you guys like Chani in part one. Like obviously you like the idea of her. We don't really get much of her.
She's not in the movie,
I mean,
really. Yeah.
She's
yeah.
barely in it.
She has like 3 minutes of screen
I
time.
think it sets it up nice,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree with the characters thing. Also, just comparing it to Star Wars is hard. I get like the stories are somewhat similar. It's like in space, and it's like a space opera, chosen one type thing. But like Star Wars, still at the end of the day, and like not that adults can't enjoy it. We all love Star Wars, but like those are mostly family movies. Like kids can enjoy that. These are like
Is it
way
more?
more mature. They're
Yeah.
not like yeah, it's not like as comedic, and there are comedic like points. Like I think Stilgar's really funny in
Still
Dune.
gar.
You know? Yeah, like Duncan Idaho has some like charming, funny moments,
Yeah.
but. Yeah, I think the characters are like I mean I feel invested in them
Mhm.
for sure. I think and well let's transition right to Dune 2, I think, because unless you guys have anything else to say
No.
Let's
Can
go
I
to the perfect
start? Can I
movie.
finish my point with the
to,
South thing,
to
though?
start Dune
Yeah.
2.
Yes. Or do you want to
Sure,
you want to
yeah.
exposition, or if you want to
I was
lead
gonna go to
the
Chase because I know Chase wanted to turn over to Dune 2.
We'll
I
work
think
that in,
I think I'm
Jagger.
going to be reiterating the same point that Jagger's about to make of when he goes south, right, Jagger? Like when
Okay,
his
so
so that's what I'm trying to say. It's there's the entire time, like, because he still has good in him in the end, and like doing what he was, and the whole time in the whole movie he still has bad in him the whole time. So it's hard to make this like this is it, like this is the complete turning point. But I think once he agrees to go south and he drinks the water of life, then it's it. Like then he doesn't care what he has to do. He is gonna be like he's gonna do what's best for his family,
Yeah.
what's best for his sister, like that at that point. That's when he just takes over. He doesn't like he still cares about Johnny in the end, but he doesn't care about her enough to sacrifice what he has, like what
yeah.
he's going for.
Yeah, I agree with that.
did you have
Yeah,
something,
that's
Chase?
that's what I was just going to say like um I feel like he truly becomes this like I don't know if you would call him evil, but he becomes this, corrupt person after he drinks the poison. I think that's like the official turning point. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's just how I perceived it when
Okay.
watching the movie.
It
Like
Yeah.
that's
turns
the
evil
true
for
turning
sure.
point.
Yeah, it turns evil for sure. I think that is like yes, like that's when he rises and like does like the dark turn to the camera and you see like a
Yeah.
difference in how he looks and how he like, presents himself. But there is like through lines. They're like when he's like hears about the family atomics and he's like like he who can destroy things like has real power over it and he has like it's like a dark thought of like I'm gonna destroy this planet and Chani's like what and he's like
Yeah.
you don't trust it. Like there are like moments throughout where you see him
Right
kind of
behind me.
there are moments he's like I don't want this power. It's gonna be bad, but also I don't want someone else to have the power because I want to do good. I want like the control to make sure that I do good, which is still like evil at the end of the day because he wants to be the ruler. So it's like a really
Yeah.
cool balance.
I
Um,
do want to say, dissimilar to Dune Part One, Dune Two is an absolute masterclass. Like I'm perfectly okay with admitting that. And
Oh
I
yeah.
think one thing that changed big time for me, and one thing that also didn't change on rewatch, and this is a little further in the movie. So sorry that I'm jumping ahead if you guys want to start at the very beginning, but the Black Sun scene, that whole sequence is obviously great. I know you guys love all
Oh
that.
my
I
God.
didn't love it on first watch. I thought it was stupid. Second watch, absolutely adored it. But at the same token, I still don't love Fade Rotha. So it's like I'm struggling to balance the two. I think he's again like all the Harkonnens, he's disgusting, and he's an even more disgusting version of the most disgusting Harkonnen.
Hmm.
But I still just like don't feel that fear with Fade Rotha that I'm like, oh my god, this guy is just like when he's on the screen, I'm not like, oh my god, he's horrifying. I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, like he's funny, like he's cool, but he's also like a bad guy. Like I'm not thinking, oh my god, like I'm terrified.
Can I add to that before you guys like
oh yeah.
chime in? Just because this is one of my complaints, so we'll just like jump into it.
Mhm.
So I feel like Fade Ratha, I wish we would have gotten more of like a psychological like aspect to him rather than just like, oh, this guy like goes out here and fights in this like Coliseum looking arena and is supposed to just be killing guys that are drugged, right? And I guess the one guy wasn't drugged, so that was like the one little twist in it. Um, but he doesn't really like impose his presence on me in that way just because like yes he's a good fighter but he's just killing drugged opponents so like that doesn't really impress me um and then also like I just feel like there wasn't enough again backstory on him when they're going into all backstory and like exposition like there just wasn't like any backstory on him so
There
like
was.
what was it?
And there was psychological exploration of him too, that he
Yeah.
was like
Killed his
evil, he's
mother.
pure evil psycho, killed his mother. Like he was like sexually frustrated, lonely, like just kind of bred to be this Harkonnen warrior.
I
Like
think they laid out like a
His
whole like
his
therapist like
yeah,
layout for him.
his weakness is that he just wants some play, right? Isn't that his
Yeah,
big
he wants
weakness?
play.
yeah, pretty
He's a
much.
Yeah, yeah.
fucking
He's like
sicko,
a
Did
he's
they
dude.
like a
He's a
show that or did they
sicko.
just say that?
they say it and then they show the whole scene with him. Well, they say about the mom and
His
they
levers.
yeah, and they show it with the girl Margot Fenring
What
with
is
like
it
the
again?
sexual frustration and the loneliness.
Maybe I just missed that.
And
Uh,
she and like when he has the Gom Jabbar and like in his like they cut away from it, but Margot Fenring says like he's just like he just enjoys like pain, like he lived for it and all this. Like he was probably like how Paul was like angry, like crying, like all this. Fade Rotha was
Oh, he's
probably
smiling.
smiling, like looking at her like dead in the face, like making like faces like Chase would make, like just if he's trying to make someone
Great.
laugh.
Yeah.
and
Great.
that's where I was gonna say like where the moment where he is like frightening for me where it's like holy shit is when he's fighting in the ring and he takes like the force field off or whatever and he's like all right I don't need this I'm just gonna fight this guy and he's like holding the knife to his face and just like laughing and drooling all over the place and it's just like nuts like I just think it's so
And
sick.
when
And
he kills him and he says like he looks him in the eyes and he's truly like you fought well, Atreides. Oh my God, that line is perfect.
very
But
good.
I
I
think my this is I when I saw this in movie theater, I actually looked at Schnur and I had to pick up my jaw off the ground. It was like this is like I think this could be my favorite scene of all time, if not the War Council scene. But when the doors open, like in their like entrance, like Naber and Vader out the Harkonnen, and like the score comes in, like the menacing, like thunderous thing, and you could just see like the door open, like you could see him come into the light. Oh my God, I think that is perfect.
Fade Rotha.
Mhm.
I feel like I have to
Chase,
rewatch that now because I didn't pick up on that dialogue.
So awesome.
I don't know how you missed
sure.
the mom part. That was like right in your face.
man.
But I know we talked about Austin Butler last week. I don't want it to seem like I don't like Austin Butler in this role because I think he's phenomenal in this role. Just because I don't like necessarily absolutely love the character like you guys do doesn't mean I think Austin Butler did a bad job because I think he did a great job and I just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah. I mean, do I think he's Heath Ledger's Joker or Darth Vader or like the Captain in Pan's Labyrinth? Probably not. But
Captain.
um or like
That's a
or like
crazy three.
he's sick. He's sick. Jack Nicholson in The Shining's another one. Like he's not that, but I think he's like really sick. And I think he fits perfectly. And
Yeah,
this is
he's
like the
cool.
perfect foil to Paul's character. How it's like they really at the end of the day, like Paul always said, he kind of like he wants to do good, he wants to do right by the people, by his family. He wants to be a hero. He doesn't want like mass genocide or like this crazy power. But like he really does. And he's kind of just like lying to himself, whereas Fade Rotha is just like, I'm just evil, I just want the power. And it's like they both are kind of the going for the same thing in the same type of way, just on opposite ends and like presenting
Yeah.
themselves differently. And I think that's like a perfect parallel between the two.
I feel like I have to like raise my rating now. How the fuck did I miss that? Maybe I was like zoned out for like 3 minutes and I missed that.
Yeah, he's got a cool backstory. I wanted to hear your other points because you had a couple other negatives that I wanted to rebut. Quickly, I will say, quickly, just going a little bit back to Dune 1, a scene that gets completely overlooked, but it might be my favorite shot in the whole movie is when Paul is like on Caladan for the last time and the ship rises out of from the back of him. That's a great shot. But right before that, when he like puts his hand in the water and like you just see his hand in the water, like feeling it, and it's like the last time he touches water is like so beautiful. And then like in this one, he's just like full blown desert. Like, yeah, I just think it's such a cool um like difference in the two. But
Also, that scene just gets disservice because on IMAX it is like the full ship in the water, and it's just on home. It's just like cut in half. Just sucks.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's still good though.
Yeah, we kidding?
Chase, I have a couple more points I would bring up. Do you have anything you wanna
I,
go?
I think we have the same point about
Sure.
the end. I know we have the same
Yeah,
point.
we could touch on that. The fight scene was cool. The end of the fight scene was terrible. Terrible.
I don't think it was terrible. Hang on, hang on. I don't think
Why?
it was terrible.
Why was it terrible?
Oh,
Let me help him out here.
I'm
Okay, let
ready
me
for
help him
that.
out. Let me help him out. I think that Christian and I both had a really big problem with Paul getting stabbed and then getting stabbed again, like gushed twice, and then he just like pulls out the knife and then turns it on Fade Roth.
Okay.
It just doesn't do it for me.
Maybe there's something I don't know that you guys can give me. Does Paul have any like super strength power?
No.
Okay.
No.
So why is he able to grab the dagger, like the sharp part of the knife, and just hold it with his fist, while there's also two daggers in his stomach, and then just like turn it?
Well, that's not exactly.
There's only
There's
one
there's
knife in him
one.
at a
Hold on.
time.
There's one
There's a
in him.
knife. Yeah. Okay. So there's a knife down here, but then after there's a knife up here.
Well,
Okay.
he is like fighting. That one's like barely. I mean, I'm not a fucking combat expert, but like that one's like barely it is. But a point I do want to bring up, and I don't know if you noticed, it is something you pick up on like so many rewatches. Paul knows this is going to happen. That's why he allows like the dagger to go into the side of his stomach. He has a vision, and we see it earlier when he sees the narrow path. He knows that that dagger has to be in his side in order for him to kill Fade Rotha, because that's what he takes out and stabs him with.
God.
That's why that is there. The I don't know. I don't know if you could take both knives. Like I don't really know. It's
I
a
mean,
movie.
people get
I'm gonna go with
stabbed
it.
and don't die.
I mean,
Yeah.
here's what I'll
Yeah.
say. Schnur was telling me that the book does it a little differently. I think that if I don't know how they do it in the book, but I think if it was done in a different way, a little more bit of a realistic way to make it more believable, I think this movie could have been a 5 for me. Like that was a pretty significant thing for me that drew it back.
I
I mean, you're
have
talking about realistic. This guy's drinking like blue, like life of water
I know,
from
but
like worms.
I know, but at the end of the day, these guys are humans. Like
yeah, I get what you're
Anakin
saying. I mean,
Skywalker has
Yeah.
both of his legs chopped off, his arm, and he's on fire, and he
And
is
he
alive.
lives.
Yeah,
He
but
is
Dune-
alive.
He's a
Dune's a lot-
human.
Dune is a lot more of a serious movie, like Snur was saying. But
Yeah,
what I
that's
wanted, what I wanted to say was, I wish the fight would have just ended with him. Yeah, there's a blade in his stomach, but like just disarm Fade Rotha a different way. Don't grab the literally the sharp part of a dagger and somehow turn it. Like that's I don't know.
That's not what happened. Well, so that's not what happened. So he
Happen then.
So he has the knife. First of all, like Jagger said, he sees that the knife has to be in his side so he can stab him. So the knife is in his side. He grabs the other knife. He's like, and he's like a trained warrior. Like he does have strength, and he's like withholding this thing from going in him, and he allows the knife to then go into his shoulder so he can take out the other one from his like side, and then stab Fedorotha in the chest with that. That's the one he stabbed him with. He didn't turn the knife around on him.
Do I miss that because I'm not seeing it on IMAX?
No, I mean you
No,
see it
no,
because he's
yeah,
got it in
You
his
don't
shoulder.
see
there.
you don't see him take it out. You
Yeah,
don't see
okay,
him take it
okay.
out. You
It's-
just
But
know like
yeah.
it because where's this other knife coming from?
Oh,
As
okay.
he's piercing him, he rips it out of his stomach, and then he turns that knife around and puts it on him.
Because they don't
Yes,
really
it's
show
not
it.
the one he went like this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. They don't
It-
show
it-
that, so I don't know.
That's fair.
I mean,
The
we've seen the movie 5 times again. Like
a
it's
part
like it's just that part
a part of the
rewatch.
fight that I think that you guys aren't picking up Art that I have a problem with is the 720 swirl in midair. That was insane.
I don't remember
That's sick.
that, but that's funny though.
No, it's
Almost like a
cool,
flip.
but like the
It's so
rest
sick.
of that choreography is so like yes,
Grounded.
this can have like this happens, this is ground like this is how
Yeah.
you would fight. You're not 720 spinning over Fade Roth in midair. I don't think they should have included that. They could have like jumped over and he could have landed on the floor, but I just don't love that about that scene.
Oh, I think it's cool because he's trained by like the greatest. This established he's trained by the greatest warriors in the world, like Gurney Halleck, Duncan Idaho. These like incredible fighters and warriors, and you see like Duncan how he fights too. Like there's some of that in there, like that acrobatic nature of it, and with the like any fights with the
The
Fremen, it's like
Fremen,
all the greatest like
crazy.
fighters. Yeah, he's like
It's
learning
fair.
from all of them. So,
I get that he like they're like two top dogs, but like I just don't like that
I get
spin.
it.
That's the only thing I don't like. But I
Jagger,
understand he's a
talk about a
complete war.
spin. Do you remember when they introduced Gurney Halleck in Dune 2 and they jump out of the sand? And
Oh.
they do like jujitsu, like spinning around him and put him in like an arm bar.
That's
It's
hilarious.
crazy.
Now,
I,
I want to pose a question to you guys. I'm sure you're all gonna say you love it because you all love the movie. It's a 10 star for you guys, but I don't know if I love it or if I hate it. How in that fight scene that there's no music, and I don't know if I don't
like
know.
it.
I don't know if the
Absolutely.
music would enhance it or if it's just like it's really that good. I can't tell if I love it or hate it. So
I
I want
like
to
the
know
noises.
if there were music there, some type of music to like boost that moment for you. Like, would you want music there, or do you like that there's nothing?
Edit it for us. Edit
0%.
send it us.
Let me see.
See if we would
Okay.
like it better.
Let me
But
see.
I love
need,
that because
I need
it
a
felt
visual.
it felt so tense. I was literally in the movie theater and I look over to Sophia. I go, I think Paul's gonna die. Like I think I was so scared.
so did
I was so in there. I wasn't focused on the movie, like on the music. I was focused just like on this one battle.
I there's a 0% chance I want music there. I and I was gonna compare this a little bit to like Revenge of the Sith with that final fight scene because that was just like massive grand thing. We talk about some like ridiculous choreography. And the problem I have with Revenge of the Sith we talk about is like that it's supposed to be so emotional and there's a lack of the emotion. I think they go for spectacle over emotion at times in that final fight scene for most of it.
Mhm.
And I think this like it's not about the spectacle. It's like this is for like the throne and they're both kind of evil and it's like who's gonna win? And it's just they face each other, they're there, and then the music cuts and you're just like in this fight and it's just like so brutal and like it feels more personal and it's not this like massive jumping from, object to object, flipping off the walls, whatever, like crazy extravagant fight scene. It's just silent. It's this personal, like brutal hand-to-hand combat in this one throne room, and it just is like, it's just perfect. I think like, it's just the perfect fight scene. You get everything you need, like Jagger said, the tension, you get the emotion. It's like violent. It's
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah.
It's
I think you
I
could
just
still
love
get
it.
that though with music. I don't think music would take that away.
Yeah.
Not necessarily,
I-
yeah, but I don't. I just wouldn't.
I think
The
either
fact that
way,
it's
I
touch
don't
it. I think
want
it's
it.
perfect.
It's
I
the
wouldn't touch it. Yeah.
It's the way it is now.
Yeah.
I love the Revenge of the Sith Anakin Obi-Wan fight, and that has like dramatic music over it. So it's just the way I saw it. Like that's the way.
Like,
I
imagine hearing that woman screaming, ah, like while they're
You do right when he kills him, right? Like then
Yeah.
it's like when he stands up and
Yeah.
everyone
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
he's not Gaib and like
I think you could probably find a way. I just think, like I said, like it maybe would have been a distraction. Maybe it could have worked. I think it was a perfect scene. I wouldn't go back and touch it, like
Yeah.
personally. I also just wanted to say with because this is I was gonna tell you, Chase, we were talking about that final scene the other night and how he took the two stabs or whatever. Um, and I watched it again, obviously, like he gets stabbed once in the side, once in the shoulder, so it's not like a direct like heart shot, which, he probably would die from. Um, but I also think, which I thought about later, is that these Fremen who are all watching him are thinking he's Elisa Al Gaib. They're thinking he's this Messiah, this God. And in that moment, just like how you see it, how it's like, how is he surviving this? Does he have some kind of crazy power? That's how the Fremen are seeing it. So like, that's their perspective, and you are like with the Fremen believing like,
Yeah.
holy shit, like he really might be a god. And even though he's not, it's like you have that crazy belief over it, and I think it
Yeah.
like puts you in that
Yeah.
seat from that
I like that point
viewpoint.
of
I
view.
think that's a valid point, but the way that I felt like I watched the movie was through Paul. Like
Yeah,
I wasn't looking. I wasn't looking at it through
Loki.
the lens of Fremen, and maybe like yeah, like I could totally see where you're coming from, and I think that's totally valid. But I think for me, I'm just looking through Paul.
Yeah, I mean the movie for sure is through Paul. I'm just saying like
Yeah,
in that moment, I think like it kind of
yeah,
like you get that like perspective of
yeah.
holy shit, is he a god?
I
Like
have a couple other minor complaints. One we don't really have to touch on. It's very minor, but I would have liked to see the Harkonnens have a little bit more pushback in the fight rather than just like the Fremen and Paul and all of them just kind of dominating. I don't know how you guys feel. Maybe
The
what they
the
expect.
Fremen are like they talk about. I mean, like Gurney Halleck is like, "Oh, how many men do you have?" And he's like 200. He's like 200, and then he's like there's millions of them. Like they're like the fiercest fighters that there are
and they
Yeah,
have
I like,
sandworms
galaxy.
I like
and
how
they're
it
not
shows
seeing it
like the.
coming.
I like
Yeah,
how like they talk about desert power and like that is literally desert power. Like that was great.
straight out of the book too.
Yeah,
It's
really, that's cool.
yeah, that's perfect.
And then the like my only real problem with the movie, I would say, is my lack of understanding with Chani's character. She feels a little bit underdeveloped to me. Um, what I wrote was like her relationship with Paul develops very, very fast, but the love doesn't really feel like justified or like earned. And it almost seems like she hates the idea of Paul, but is also like in love with Paul. So I don't know like what you guys think about that.
I think you just put it perfectly.
Yeah, I think your point right there just showed that she is developed. That she like falls for the like the charisma just like the rest of the Fremen, but she still has her reservations because she like knows that she should probably have those reservations. Like she knows the danger of trusting someone from the outside.
I think I maybe I missed this too, but I think I would have liked to see a backstory on her too, like a little bit of lore on like who she really is, other than I guess like the symbol of like I think they call her Desert Tears or something like that. Like
Desert
She's a desert
Spring.
spring.
Desert Spring. So like she's
Sihaya. Yeah.
necessary to the story in like that aspect, but maybe we could have seen a little bit more on her character. Maybe that's coming in Dune Messiah.
There's a little more in the book. I think potentially they go into a more in Messiah. If not, I'll tell you guys stuff then. But I think we'll get more on her.
Hmm.
I think. But
Okay.
yeah, she's also very different. I was gonna say in the book with like she's like barely even a character in the book, honestly. She's like just a concubine who's like hooking up with him and like whatever. She's literally just like a love interest, no real like personality or anything like that, just a Fremen that he's like with. And I love how Denis changed it and used her as this kind of cautious Fremen, um, to allow, again, like we were talking about the perspectives that you see the movie from. Her reservations about Paul kind of helps the viewer, I think, see that he really is like a villain, and it really aids that, which the book didn't do necessarily as well, which is why Frank Herbert wrote Dune Messiah, because like people didn't think Paul was a villain. He's like, oh, like he's supposed to be a villain. No one knew it, so let's show you that he's a villain. Like Denis kind of wanted to like make sure people knew that, and he used Chani as that vessel.
I like that. That's a good explanation. And these points that I'm bringing up again are very, very minor. I have this movie at a 4.5, and it's very close to a 5. I just wanted to hear like some of my points, what you guys think about them.
Yeah, I want to talk to
But
you about this.
yeah,
Yeah.
but like one scene that I do want to talk about is when he first officially like rides the sandworm for the first time, which I guess like makes him officially a part of the Fremen, if 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 that's also what you guys think. But um this scene is maybe one of my 10 most favorite scenes I've seen in all of movies. It's probably my favorite
Wow.
scene in the two movies. I fucking love it so much. Like the song behind it, like the noise behind it, and then like him like struggling with like the sand going, and then this is also like the biggest sandworm in the desert too, right? Like they call like the big one or whatever it is.
The
Like the great
grand,
grandmother.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
grandfather
it's
worm,
actually
I
so
think.
sick, and it's I remember when I saw it in theaters with Schnur, I had chills in my body, and I looked over at him, and he was just staring at me, waiting to see my
Good.
reaction, and I got that same exact feel on rewatch. So that scene is unbelievable.
I'm pointing the way.
Is
Yeah.
Chase or Jordan, you guys have anything? Because I feel like I'm sorry, I've kind of hijacked this, I feel like.
You're
But if you
fine.
guys have, I want to hear more if you
I've
guys have anything to
just
say.
I've just been controlling myself from screaming quotes from Dune Part 2 the whole episode. So I had to get one out right there.
I
Uh,
mean, yeah, this sandworm scene is spectacular. I mean, I remember vividly like how I felt in IMAX watching that. So like, I remember like, I feel like when you can recount those moments, it just goes to show how great of an experience it is watching a moment like that. It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, no other way. It's like it leaves you speechless in a way. Honestly, it's that good.
Yeah. I'll
And
say that my favorite thing I think about watching movies is when there's quotes that you can say. That's like my favorite thing ever. Like I love
are
it.
you gonna
And I
fart
think it
out quotes
comes
instead?
what?
So we're gonna fart out the quotes instead?
No, I mean like some movies you watch and it's not like you remember like a single
Quotable.
line.
So you just
I know
like
what you mean.
quotable movies.
Yeah,
I
I know what
love
you mean.
That's a
quotable
Jordan
movies.
I
movie.
like that. I get that.
No, I think it comes from my dad because he's just like he used to say all these quotes when I was a kid and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I have no idea what that movie is. But like I was on PlayStation with with Jagger and Schnur the other day, and I think it was silent, and I just scream. I'm like, "Go south, Gurney Halleck, protect my mother," and it's just like comes to my head, and I just love it so much.
I have a question about Dune 2. Um, is played by Josh Brolin, right? I'm remembering that
The
correctly. Okay.
goat.
Yeah.
In the end, Gurney obviously continues. He keeps calling Paul my lord, my lord, my lord. Um, is that him referring to him as like this Messiah, or is that to him referring to as like the
No,
offspring
The
of
Duke.
the
Leto?
Yeah,
Duke,
he's the
Okay.
Duke.
Leto.
Okay.
Because he is the, what did he say, Duke of Arrakis?
Yeah,
Oh my Lord,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Atreides, Duke of
Because
the
he
Yeah.
Arrakis.
is
aura,
like the Duke of
so much aura,
Arrakis.
Because
oozing.
he says in that moment, what do you call that? What is it, like the temple you call that? What is that?
The throne room, like at the end. Yeah, it's a
No,
throne
no,
room.
no. The where like he gives the whole speech, where Paul gives the big speech.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh, the War
yeah,
Council?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, thank you. The War Council, and he tells Shawnee, he's like, oh, something like, do you want to get yourself killed or something? Like because he like is afraid. So, but then it seems like he's kind of bought in after. So, like, is he actually bought into Paul
I
as
don't
this
think
figure,
so.
or is he putting on a front at the end,
I
where
I
he's
think
don't
like
think
my
he's
he's
putting
put.
in
lord?
front,
I
like
don't think he's.
there's two different sides because I see it like Paul is like the leader, and then Stilgar is the believer in the Lisan al Gaib. That's what he serves. And then Gurney serves his Duke, like Duke
Right.
Atreides. Like that's why he literally like has tears in his eyes when he's like, "This is my father's ducal signet." Like that's what means stuff to him. Like he's just buying into it.
This is my
I guess
father's
I would have.
ducal signet.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
guess I could have like. It's hard to explain how you would explain that in a movie. Be like, oh, what did Paul tell him? Like, oh, I'm not actually like Lisa Al Gaib. I'm like,
Yeah.
So he also has such like a disdain for the Harkonnens that this is like his path to getting back at them also. He's like he has like very like deep commitment to seeking revenge on them, and this is like the way to do
Yeah.
it.
That's what I
So,
was gonna say.
so he's referring to him as like my lord. Like he obviously looks at him in that respect, but like, is he also like afraid of him at the same time? Like, is that
I
supposed to
don't think
be how
so.
it's
I
supposed to
don't think
be?
so. No.
I
I
think
think
it's
he
more of like
could be
a
afraid of him.
royalty type thing.
I think he could be afraid of him in some aspects, and I think if he's still a Messiah, like I think he could be afraid of him there. But
Okay.
I don't think he's afraid of him right now. I think he's more just like serving. Like this is his family basically. Like this is the kid who he like almost like rose. Like he trained this kid for like most of his life.
Yeah.
So
I have a question for you guys. You do knowers.
All
Um,
right, quickly, sorry, before you say that, sorry. The Knicks are starting fairly soon. Don't know if we'll get to games in this episode. I think we'll probably So we'll wrap it up soon and then do our picks. I
Okay.
think just say that. Yeah.
That's fun.
Yep. Question for you guys. So correct me if I'm wrong. Is Jessica and okay, let's just settle this. Is it Leto or Leto?
Leto.
Okay, is Jessica and Leto, are they married? They're not, right?
No.
Okay, and then we find out that Jessica is the daughter of the Baron. And then
Mhm.
we find out that Jessica's maybe main motive is to have her son as the Quaset, whatever you
Kwisatz
pronounce
Squeeze
Haderach.
it.
right?
Flash a beam.
So then is it fair to say that Jessica never loves Leto? She's just using him to have a son because the son has to be born into royalty too, right? Royalty and also be a male Bene Gesserit to be
Like the Kwisatz Haderach.
that, yeah. Or like maybe she needs him to be born into like a royal family so that her son can have that platform to eventually become that because it seems like that's her main goal. So do you guys think that she ever even loves Leto?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
Yeah, she
so.
does.
I think it's just once she got there, she's like, oh, like maybe I do this because she's like, you were selfish and you bore a son. I think she was just kind of like, all right, I'm here. Like, that's what I'm gonna do.
Also,
Try and
this
have this.
again, sorry, this is like not a thing you can necessarily get from the movie, but um the only reason they're not married is because he is royalty. So like his marriage, like he could marry someone else that's royal in like a different family to like merge those two families and make a bond, kind of like what Paul did at the end with Princess Arulin. So that's the only reason they're not married. But like he never then ended up marrying because he like loved her and they were in love. They just like never officially got married so that they could reserve like in case he needed to marry someone else.
But technically, she's a Harkonnen, so like if he knew that, then maybe they could have married.
No, because the
Or is it
Harkonnens and the
Oh,
Atreides
yeah, they weren't.
they don't fuck with each other.
not at all?
No, and you should watch the Dune show.
Have
Yeah.
you guys seen it, Jagger and Schnur?
No.
I stopped halfway through. It just didn't.
It
feel
gives
like Dune to
backstory on the
me.
Atreides and Harkonnens, which I like.
All right. Is that all we got for Dune?
Think so.
Not waiting
Yeah.
for Messiah.
Go
That was a great discussion.
Yeah. I'm glad we talked about it to that extent that we did. Sorry if I hijacked it at all.
Not at all.
You're a
But
great host.
all right. I have a couple games on deck. Unfortunately, the Knicks are coming on soon. We're all not Jordan, but the rest of us are big Knicks fans,
I'll
so
watch.
we're gonna have to watch that playoff game, unfortunately. But before we hop off to do that, maybe we'll play a couple games throughout the week and post that or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Before we sign off, though, we do have to pick movies for next week, and our next week's theme is going to be man versus nature. And like as we mentioned at the top of the show, we're going to be doing two movies. So we'll each vote for our top two from our picks, and that'll be our next two movies. So I'll kick it off with. Does anyone have like a
Yeah,
movie to pick?
I have a movie.
I got
I
one.
do too.
Okay, I'll go with Christian. Yeah, you can go first.
Mine was gonna be The Revenant.
Okay, that was a good one.
Whoa.
Never seen it. I believe that's DiCaprio's only Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
So I would love to watch it, see what his performance is like in that.
That was gonna be mine as well. All right, The Revenant is our first option. Chase, you had one also. You can go next.
Can I guess Jordan's?
Sure,
All right,
you
I
can go
won't.
for it.
You know what? I'll just be
Okay.
surprised.
You
If
guess
you
it.
guys don't classify it as man versus nature, I have it as a backup, but I was gonna go Jurassic Park.
Sure.
Yeah, I
do.
think so absolutely.
Okay. Okay, I'll go with Jurassic Park.
Okay.
The original, obviously. Sorry, didn't
Yeah.
post that.
What's your guess for Jordan's? I'm curious now. 'Cause
I was gonna
Jordan had
say
one?
127 hours was Jordan's pick.
Do you have one,
Incorrect.
Jordan? That is a
Oh
Jordan.
wow. Okay.
I've never seen that movie. That's incorrect.
What's yours, Jordan?
I'm gonna go Into the Wild,
Okay.
Do it.
which I really want to see. I remember.
I really want to
shout
see
out,
that too.
shout out Coach Jacket. He used to talk about that all the time.
Love that guy.
All right, Jagger, you got
I'm
one?
going with Jaws. I don't know if it's too close to the re-release that you guys want to watch it, but I feel like we'd go great with Jurassic Park if we get those two. All-time classic.
Yeah. Okay. I had The Revenant. I had Jaws. Let me look quick. I'm sorry.
Life of Pi is out there, you know.
Life of Pi is out there.
That's one with the tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Castaway's out there.
Castaway is so good. But we've all seen it, right? Jordan, you've seen it too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know if it'll get picked. I'm gonna throw out Armageddon. I'm just gonna go
That's
cheesy
Glenn's
action
favorite movie ever.
Oh god.
Movie ever. cheesy action movie. Bruce Willis. I think Ben Affleck's in that, right, Jordan? Or is he only in Pearl Harbor?
I haven't seen it, to be honest.
Okay, I think
Michael
Ben Affleck's in it.
Bay.
Like Bruce Willis, like a bunch of construction workers or whatever they are, like trying to stop a asteroid from hitting the Earth. Michael Bay too, I
Billy
believe.
Bob Thornton.
Steve Buscemi, right?
It is Michael
Steve
Bay.
Buscemi's in here.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah, Ben
my
Affleck,
God,
Liv
this cast
Tyler,
is
It's loaded.
loaded.
Owen
Yeah,
Owen Wilson.
Wilson. Yeah,
Love
it's
Owen Wilson.
loaded.
yeah, Michael Bay action movie. I'll throw it out there as an option. So we'll go back in the order that we picked. Christian, your first votes.
Yeah, I'll do Jurassic and I'll do Into the Wild.
All right. Chase.
Definitely gonna vote Into the Wild. That was gonna be my backup. So I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna go with. I'll go with The Revenant.
Okay. Two votes for Into the Wild, one for Jurassic, one for Revenant. I think next is Jordan.
I'm gonna go Revenant, and I gotta vote Armageddon for my dad, or else he's gonna text me and be pissed.
All right, Jagger.
I'm going Revenant Into the Wild.
All right. I will. I think it's already determined actually, but I was gonna do Jurassic Park and Revenant, um, but doesn't really matter. So our movies next week, that was quick and easy, are gonna be The Revenant and Into the Wild.
These are the two I wanted.
Nice, me
Yeah.
too.
Excited I can watch something new I haven't seen. I haven't seen Into the Wild. So, any last final points from you guys? Any last thoughts?
Yeah, r really quick. Just want to tell you boys, I really really like Dune on this rewatch, and I'm really really excited for Messiah. I'm happy that we got to rewatch it, and I also wanted to ask you guys, does anybody here? I think Jagger, does anybody here like part one more than part two?
No,
No.
part two is fucking masterclass.
Yeah.
Jagger,
Part 2 is my favorite movie of all
part
time.
two. Okay, that's interesting. Rachel actually likes part one better than part two, so I wanted to tell you guys that, which is
It's
interesting.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah. They're
yeah,
I
those are my
mean, I love
thoughts.
them both. I just
Really,
think part two is that good.
I don't think I've ever heard of that ever.
really happy that I rewatched it, and I feel like I have to watch it again to get more into the lore because I missed some things, but it was great. So thank you guys.
Should we do quick ratings? I don't think we gave ratings, but
Yeah,
uh
part one
Jagger's
is
got 5-5.
Jagger's
Jagger
got
has
two
10
Five,
fingers
fives.
up.
five. Five, five.
5-5.
Jagger's got two fives. I've got two
Honestly,
fives.
it's a 6 and a 5.
I've got a
Yeah.
4.5 for one and a 5 for two.
I got a 4 and a 4.5.
I got a 3.5 and a 4.5. If I could give Dune 2 like a 4.7, I would.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I'm glad we got to talk about that. Glad you guys got to rewatch them and maybe get some more appreciation for those movies. As I mentioned, very special to me, special to Jagger and Jordan as well. But yeah, that'll be all for our episode. Apologies for not playing any games. Go Knicks. Follow us on socials at the Watchlist Podcast on TikTok and Instagram. And you can listen here every Tuesday. Usually we're posting at 9 a.m. This week it's not at 9 a.m., but every week 9 a.m. usually will be out on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. So that's all from us, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Watchlist.
Adios.
Reesh.
See ya.